second match with these delays.
Oh, that's so weird.
No delays, no Spirit Karibos. Tazkin Levica goes to the win. Just takes it back. Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Season 7, Week 1 of Duel Links Team Wars. We are live with BZ versus Forbidden Ones, and I am joined by none other than my good friend monkeyboy44. What's going on? How you doing?
It's me. Hello, Heinz.
Hello.
Welcome to Season 7. How you doing,
Welcome
man?
to Season 7. And you know what? Since this is our first time casting in Season 7 together, I do have to say congratulations on the award you won for Season 6. I heard you were one half of the best casting duo as voted by the viewers.
Ooh, I'll take that, and congratulations to you as well.
For what?
Oh, you know, assuming that that happened to be split between the two of us.
Yeah, it totally was, man. I just wanted to hear you say it. Oh my god.
I know. And everybody in chat, how are you guys doing today?
Fuck those guys.
You
It's just
people
you and
slowly
me.
starting to pile in. But yeah, it should be a really cool war ahead of us.
Yeah.
BZ's a really exciting team to watch.
Finalists last season.
Yeah. Is this I think you've got Forbidden Memories on
Nope.
the title, but FO is the one. Unless I'm misreading.
I don't think I have.
On the actual stream, on the stream title itself. I was gonna say.
My stream title still says Season 7, Week 1, Tier 0 versus the Unforgiven. Hideki Bro and Xerix.
Weird. I'm seeing F or BZ versus FM for week 1, but either way, this is Forbidden Ones.
It certainly is.
And we'll have that cleared up pretty soon. But yeah, no, cool. 2 cool teams coming in. Hopefully, two cool casters for you guys. Excited to see what these teams bring. Yeah.
I'll just do.
We're at a point in the meta of kind of peak Crystron right now, so I'm expecting a lot of kind of long grindy matches personally. But with BZ being a Japanese team, honestly, you never know. I feel like Japanese teams always bring something interesting.
Yeah, I mean BZ. Actually, I believe they're Chinese.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, I believe they are. At least
I
Sakura
stand
is.
corrected.
And yeah, I don't know if you caught the Pharaohs War versus the new team Death Row, but Zeko going 6-1 or 5-1 with Cristrons as well. Very cool.
Yeah. How did that? Do you know what the score on that one ended up as? I tuned in like halfway, but I didn't get to watch the whole
10-7. I was actually cooking, even though it's my team. I still didn't have a chance. So it's Luca versus Rafa to start us off here.
Okay. Curious to see what each player brings.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I mean, we have seen so much Cristrons, and you know, I've been saying for so long that Crystron's is the best deck, so let's see if I'm proved correct this week. It seems like it's the one that's going off the most.
Yeah, I mean, I really think between the two variants, especially with the new SSA variant, that Crystron's is just really interesting right now. It's hard for a lot of decks to deal with.
It's hard to prepare for both. You know, you think it's the same deck, but they actually play and control the board in such different ways, you know?
Yeah, they've got actually surprisingly different matchups, given that the large base of the deck is pretty much the same.
Yeah, and people think too that you can play one, you can play both, but they do play incredibly different when you're the pilot.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that for sure. I myself am not much of a Crystron player, so I will try to provide as much commentary as I can on these, but like I'll be totally honest that I am still certainly learning, especially the SSA variant, some of those matchups and how they play out myself.
See, and Sakura in the chat said he's only got 2 Japanese players on the team, and only one of them plays in Team Wars. And MA, as our roughly 10th comment, says first. So what's up, MA?
And dang, Sakura, I apologize. I always thought VZ was more Japanese than Chinese, but props to the Chinese team in that case.
And BZ Luca taking the win game number 1, but I'm pretty sure that that's just going to be some kind of weird disconnection.
Immediate load back, yeah.
And I did see that it was 30 card Mako, so you know maybe we are going to see some Crystron SSA right off the bat. Also,
or
Rafa is now
pure SSA. You know, Legendary Fisherman coming out possibly.
Bro, please.
Abyss Soldier one time for that young 1-for-1 bounce.
You mean boneless Bionic?
I do. Yep.
I love that
That's
card, man.
the one.
My very first tournament I ever played in Duel Links was a Guns Blazing tournament, and it was kind of like a miniature Team Wars in a way. It was like a Squad Wars kind of a deal, and I won with I won with 3-star demotion C stealth attack with my team. And I did play Abyss Soldier, and it won many games.
I remember when that box came out, and just the insane amount of testing. I think the very first tournament with it was like a Tecumseh tournament, and I think maybe Masaryk just like dominated with that. Did we just load? Yep, we loaded straight back into another one. Weird. Maybe try the next table for these guys who are dueling, if you can hear us.
Yeah, Zakin says 2-0
easy.
Man, BZ taking an early lead.
Yeah, they're just plowing
like
through these decks, man. I like to think we'll say it was a legitimate 1-0, right? The guy just got so scared he scooped immediately. And then he loaded back in with the old deck, but they didn't say repeat, so he surrendered there as, you know, since he had to.
Absolutely. Now, I did add some outlines on the board there, so we can see which side is red and which side is blue based on the current match page as well. You guys, let me know in the chat how do you think that looks. If it's redundant, if it looks weird, let me know. And we do have Mythic Depths. Both players have field spells.
Yeah, versus, what is this, 22 card Saber? Yeah.
So with both players having field spells, Malefics will very likely be staying on the board.
True. Fair point, if we do see any. To your point earlier, though, with the 2 Crystron variants having pretty very different matchups between some different decks that they play against, I would say this would be one of them. Typically Crystron, like regular, more traditional Crystron, going to be pretty disadvantaged in this. But Saber has very few outs to like an SSA type setup here if Crystron can work toward that.
Yeah, especially since that limit 3 to Palace and Cosmic Cyclone, not being able to play Cosmic Cyclone against C stealth attack, kind of brutal. You're relying on Casitas, which is so easily reduced by a Crystron impact.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, honestly, Saber's run very little back row removal in general. If anything, it's typically one card. That card is sometimes like a Galaxy or an Unending, but even that's definitely not standard, so we'll kind of see how that plays out for Sabers here.
You know, I mean, Unending Nightmare might be popular today because we did just get those Malefics that I was talking about. You know, you gotta be on the lookout.
That's true. Have you personally messed around with Malefics at all?
No, that box is a hard skip. I'm not touching
That
it.
is a massive skip.
You know, maybe
I
I'll
was so
open that
disappointed.
box in 2 years when DD gets the rest of their support, but I don't know.
Oh my god. Dude, I was telling my team before the box came out or before we knew it, I was like, man, like DSOD era has been definitely more of a main box than a mini box era. Like, typically good things. We had the last main box had like Light Sworn and stuff, which like, and some Blue Eyes support, which like had some support, but nothing like really meta defining in terms of full new archetype based decks.
Yeah, Lights
And I was like, we're
is an
overdue.
engine.
I was so confident that we were going to get something at least relevant, but nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so strange that, you know, usually the box that breaks the meta is right in the fall. You know, we saw, you know, Heroes come out, Masked Heroes were like this huge deck, came out and then followed right by Spellbooks and Fur Hire and Sylvans. Like, all of that was right after Heroes, and that was right in the fall into the spring. And then this year, or last year, we had 6 Sams that came out and dominated the meta for a long time. And then this year we get... What did we... Nothing. We got a Light Sworn Engine.
Yeah, I think we're personally, in my opinion, in need of, or starting to become in need of like a new kind of really, really high tier 1, maybe tier 0 deck. Something like a Dark Lord that comes in and just kind of cleans up some of the meta as it gets more and more scattered.
Yeah, just focus things down a little bit. And
Yeah,
you know,
knock
honestly,
some tier
it's
3s
as
off.
easy as removing some 6 Sams from the ban list. Deck still broke.
I mean, maybe. I'm not a fan of old decks just having cards unbanned personally. I think they've kind of had their time. Like, maybe they'll come back eventually, but as far as like creating that as like the new main deck, I don't know.
Could you imagine though? Like, how bad a money making strategy for Konami would that be?
That too.
Like, there's no chance of it happening.
Yeah. But no, back to this duel. So far, no SSA setup going, which is really the big thing that Sabres is hoping to prevent or avoid in some way. As long as SSA doesn't actually hit the field, then this matchup is still probably much more favored towards Sabre.
Well, SSA is going to be pretty much an Undyne or Citadel Whale away, and now that we're starting to thin the deck a little bit, it's looking a lot better for the Crystron player here. Luca does have that Thistfern going off right now. He's going to get a search, and he has a live impact protecting his Crystrons now from that Malehu, and that's a big deal. He could easily query in a board at any point now.
Yeah, really the flip down is of Malehu specifically, or you know anything else that they run, is probably one of the bigger advantages that Sabres still potentially runs versus even like an SSA setup, is that they can use that to at least start to make some real pokes. But that impact really prevents a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's one other thing too, is Impact does have the disadvantage of being, you know, a graveyard card. Used to be stopped by things like Sealed Tombs. Now it's mostly limited to chain blocks, which is something that Element Sabres really don't have available to them. Speaking of chains, am I right? the Fiendish chains, because it's a chain.
Yep, and Fiendish Chain putting in work here.
Yeah, and this is one thing too, you know, we're talking about not being able to target Crystrons, and I know what the chat's thinking, because the chat is really stupid. So, the chat is thinking, well, why didn't he just use the impact on the chain, right? Because it's a targeting effect, doesn't negate it. Well, that's because the chat is incredibly stupid, Monkey Boy. That's the problem here. And they don't know that impact does not work on targeting effects that are continuous. Stupid chat.
I knew they didn't know that, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to believe that they knew that, but deep down I had a feeling.
Oh, not you, Mimi. You have a sword.
There it is. Mark asking the important questions. If only we had some sort of explanation. He must have misclicked.
Probably just click no. Resline says the Shiranui guide actually talks about chain versus Cristrons. That is a shameless plug from the Shiranui expert themselves. The Shiranui expert must be doing a good job, because I don't know if you saw the tournaments this week, but Shiranui, the most played deck, and has one of the best conversion rates that we've seen. Yeah, Andy, it's 2020. I'm not here, you know, getting people's genders all assumed. Andy's such a sexist, man.
Clearly. We all know that. It's well known. So finally made his way to an Alistair.
Yeah, and that Purgatrio coming out.
Yep. One back row from each player. Now the Crystron deck really doesn't run a whole, or the SSA variant of the Crystron deck doesn't really run a whole lot of back row typically. So usually you should be able to do a little bit of guess and check work to try and figure out kind of what that might be. Though the banished monster means that SSA or impact toggle should be the same.
Second chain off. Yeah, there's that fiendish chain, and like we were talking about, that impact still not going to have much impact on this play.
Also worth noting is that that's a prismatic chain, so it's 50% more effective.
Oh yeah, it's a super effective chain.
Yep. It cannot be negated.
Still full back row. I'm surprised you didn't see a straight flush come out here from Luca.
Classic straight flush, you know.
Yo, beat that Casitas in attack position. There's something you don't see too often. Says, I do not want to get reduced by that impact. He said, I heard Hines talk about impact reducing Casitas earlier. Not today, Junior.
He said, nah. Yeah, Casitas does potentially serve some functions in this matchup. One of the bigger ones is really that if you summon Casitas by banishing Sulfafner out of the graveyard from Crystron, it can at least disrupt some of their easy recoverability. But yeah, impact really reduces its defense and makes it an awkward monster for the deck.
Unfortunately,
there's the
Luca, with the matchup that we were saying is, you know, more favorable for Crystrons, actually taking the win there. Finally got a Purgatrio on board and no C stealth attack to hold it off.
Yeah, really without the C stealth attack, I mean, things are probably still going to be favored more towards Saber. Crystron relies pretty heavily on being able to get that set up. Now, I would expect a repeat here because this is really a matchup that, I mean, they would want to continue to try again on.
Those Fiendish Chains, I mean, that's really the card that I find the most annoying as a Crystron player. The card I find most annoying from Element Sabers, you know, it's not actually getting flipped down. I don't mind that so much. It's the Fiendish Chains. You know, I have to have a Lance in hand, otherwise I'm getting all chained up. Yo, Brims is in the chat. Oh, Greg releasing personal information. They're going back to the cursed table 1?
Yeah, that was a rough looking table based on the way we started this out, but we'll see.
Did you know that we have a preparing next match screen now for Duel Links Team Wars?
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, look at that. It's like just this throbbing Team Wars in the center of the screen.
Oh my god, Brims. He's
talk,
in the chat.
Don't talk to him.
And wants us to notice him.
Don't acknowledge him. He's attention starved.
But Brims is that boy.
Yeah, what has he ever done?
You know?
Stop. You're even in the chat. You're.
You know what? No, you know what? Now that you say it, you're right. You're right. Fuck that guy. No, Burns, we love you though.
Yeah, we really
Apologies. Apologies for popping off on you. Won't happen.
You know, he stole me from a team. You know that? Came to my house, picked me up.
Alright, so round 2 coming in.
There we go.
Sakura does announce a repeat, so we're going to see the same matchup go on again.
Poggers. Yo, let me see that disconnection one time since we switched back to the other table.
It could happen. Refs were asking him to stay on table 2.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Oh, it happened!
Oh my
Luka takes
gosh!
Yo, that's what happens. Yo, you take that L.
There it
You
is.
move.
Table 2, please, guys.
Now I gotta move everybody back because Luca's back at the bottom. Yo,
We have
you
an
leave the
actual curse
again, I'm
table this
giving
time around.
Give it. I'm gonna ask Resleen personally. I'm gonna send her a strongly worded email saying, you know what, if he leaves the table again, game loss. That's the way it's gonna go. And you know what? Out of all the people that listen to me, Resleen's not one of them, so you're probably safe. Nobody listens to me. Don't worry about it.
Alright, let's see the real match this time. Krishan's going second, which is not super ideal for this matchup. Not by any means the worst. Palace, really great opener.
Marilyn in the chat saying there are people that listen to Heinz. No, I can't even get my dogs to listen to me.
I would believe it. Dogs always bark.
They do. They just interrupt me all the time.
Okay, so strong start here. 2 sets. Palace did have to search, so that's one small drawback here.
A pointer of the Red Lotus. He's pointing at him, shows him that prismatic chain, held it in his hand, said, hey, take a look at this. And look at that hand. Oh, open the Gen X controller. Look at the starters he's got. But
Yep.
That whale may be a bit of a threat. What do you do about that? Oh, man.
Now, so here's a thing with if you're gonna run a pointer in this deck. There's a lot of potential times or opportunities when you could use it versus Crystron. Do you have a personal opinion on when you feel like it's most impactful? Should you use it
when
immediately on draw? Should you?
When they get a search. When they search what they want to search off that fist burn, you just yeet that thing right out of the hand. You get out of here. You wanted that card? I don't want you to have that card. That's the way I feel
I mean,
about
there's a lot of times you can use it, right? Like one is you can use it after Self discards a card to try and summon itself. If it's gonna do that from hand, or if they do search off Self. You could try and do it in end phase if you're worried about Lancia. Now, granted, probably not as common in the SSA variant, to be fair.
Which is kind of, strange if you think about it, because Sea Stealth Attack is one thing that does not want to get hit with a Cosmic Cyclone.
True. Very true. But yeah, or there's always the old kind of reliable like draw phase usage of that card. One other thing worth noting is that although this does disrupt a little bit of SSA's initial setup, Saber doesn't have a battle phase going into this next turn. So even though he does get a D-draw, can probably start to set up, invoked. There's no like push he can make here.
Phase.
Yeah, it comes back. There's no actual push he can make against these monsters. You know, I don't want to say it's like a bad thing to have used it there. Like, I think he probably played it correctly, but it's just a matter of like, is it impactful enough? Did it do enough, or is it going to be too little, too late? By the time he can actually like start to make pushes with the D-draw search here.
And the whale goes back. Now, I'm not a marine biologist, but as I'm looking at this whale, I gotta think that it's got one heck of a skull on it. Look at the size of that horn. So, I'm just wondering how is this marine mammal supporting all this weight? I mean, he's got bricks and cannons on his back. Somebody's got to be holding the ammo, and he's got that big old horn on him. How is he staying swimming? Like, how does he come up for air? Also, with all this stuff on him, where's this man's blowhole? I know you're not supposed to ask about another man's blowhole, but where is it? These are things that keep me up at night, man. Speaking of things that keep me up.
And there are the dogs that Heinz mentioned do not listen to him. But that's okay, because they're good dogs, and we know that. Any Heinz fans are well aware of the dog situation.
Heinz be hard thinking about this blow. Oh, sorry. Heinz be thinking hard about this whale's blow. Sorry, I misread that. Yeah, them doggies be annoying.
Nah, they're good. Are they boys or girls? Or both?
He can't. Dog can't be both a boy and a girl.
That's true. Well, hey, you were knocking Andy for being sexist earlier, but easy, Heinz. Your dogs can identify as whatever they want.
Ooh, floodgate trap hole. That is very good on a whale. That does not target.
That is very good in general, yeah. Whale can't negate that. Floodgate's a good card versus the deck in general, right? Like, Whale can't negate those, or that type of card, since it's not targeting. Impact can't stop that. Not that Impact can be used on Whale, but just in general against this deck.
Truth. Got a special summon that use Impact on Chain Link 2 to get around those floodgates. But to answer your previous question, I have 2 girls and 1 boy.
2 girls, okay. Perfect, nice.
Also,
3 doggos total.
We do see the floodgate did put that whale face down, but Solfefnir opted to pop itself there and not the face down whale. So interesting stuff.
True.
There's somebody called Stevie in the chat trying to talk to you. Do you know him? You want to ban
No.
this guy?
I would prefer we block him.
Okay.
He's better off not in the chat.
This man's toxic.
Stevie Yo though. I'm not sure if I've seen which clip you're talking about or not, unless you mean the one from Our War earlier, but you would have to specify.
So I do see this, we do have the Praziordle on the Prazibortle, and I am kind of wondering now that I'm looking at Luca's board state, and, you know, how much value did he really get out of that Solfefnir? If he had just left it on the board, Solfefnir, you know, could float, and the whale would be put back in the grave. I wonder if he's got some kind of contingency plan going into the next turn. We know the face down is C stealth attack on one side, and very likely the impact that he searched on the other.
Yeah, and that C stealth attack's not going to do a lot, at least at this point.
I mean, and because the C stealth attack was put in the back there, he could have at least popped the Umi as well and just, you know, get a little something
my,
going.
what? Did we just see Cyclone and Sabers?
Oh my god. And hold up, like let's just take a quick look at this.
What?
A pointer plus Cosmic Cyclone, and he's open Palace both games with the Cosmic, keeping him down to 2 Palace of the Elemental Lords, and he didn't even use a double summon in a Planet Pathfinder to get that thing.
Oh my gosh.
Nice try. I flip over my face down card. My trap activates.
I mean, if you got it like that, you got it like that.
Now is the perfect time. Nice. It's my I shall draw.
Nightbot doing some hard work. Don't forget to follow me, Gothic Demon, on Twitch.
Activates. I'm counting on you.
Discards a Citri as well. Bam! And there we go. Whale getting blown off the board. Blown to pieces is that whale.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That Solfefnir just harpooned that whale. Did you see that?
I did witness that much.
What a well-timed Cosmic Cyclone as well.
I know. Really, I mean, like, once this deck loses its SSA component, again, I would say that favor probably shifts back toward sabers, and sabers aren't looking too bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, he did just, you know, maybe partially clog his board now that you put one tuner on and use the Fist Burn effect already. Although I suppose the Whale in the Grave does help against it. There it is. Help against the potential Floodgate, etc.
Now, he did D-draw earlier for that Cyclone, didn't he?
I believe he probably did.
Yeah, I believe that was the D-draw. I wasn't actually, I guess, thinking about it at the time, but yeah, because he definitely used D-draw earlier, which means that though he was able to get rid of the Umi, he is still going to be struggling with no Invoker.
And there goes Malehu number 3 to the graveyard. I noticed one thing about the boards. The Whale does negate targeting effects.
And destroy as well.
Yeah, so he does get to declare the attack on the following Malehu as well. And there's nothing else in the hand. Yo, Zeko. That's good. Nice performance earlier. And a Fiendish Chain. He could have Fiendish Chained in response to the Whale effect and stopped it from blowing up his guy.
What? Hello?
And one thing I'm surprised about, too, from Luca here, is that he didn't opt to blow up his own Solfefnir, because he would have been able to get 2 Ryons on the board. And if he had done that, you know, it kind of, you know, threatens that Quarian.
Mm-hmm.
And his opponent would have been maybe pressured to start using effects earlier on, and had that, you know, Ryon or something get pushed face down, then you use the Whale, bring it out, and you got everything all set up. You're in the same spot. You get your opponent to burn some cards. But Luca's a strong player, so I'm not going to question his methods. I'm just wondering exactly how he's thinking. And he does get to get rid of his Whale here.
I'll teach you to stay out of the waters. I special summon a monster.
Confirmed that he did have a second Ryon in the deck.
I'll teach you to stay out of the waters. I synchro summon a monster. Let's battle. Here I go. I attack with my monster. You're sucks.
And that's looking like he's going in for lethal. No
That's
sphere
it.
for Rebo, and Luca ties up the score with C Stealth attack Kristrons, and he also doesn't allow his opponent to repeat, as opponent did get the win on game 1.
Mm-hmm.
So 1-1 score, and we're getting a win. We got a cursed table. Let's take a look at these room replays and just see how many times these guys actually dueled. 5 duels between these guys, and finally we get a 1-1 score.
I know. Yeah, a lot of table 1 issues. So yeah, as a recommendation. Ooh, refs jumping in to keep people off of table 1. Nice touch. I like that.
Mimi and Resleen. So Luca is now waiting for Rafa to switch to his second deck. He's scrolling through that character wheel, trying to figure out where he left that deck. You ever lose your deck for a war?
Like not actually be able to find the character in the setup.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, which balance character did I put that on, you know?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Oh man, balance hasn't been super relevant for a while now, has it?
Acting like not every single deck you own is on a Shizu.
True, good point. No, I don't know if Ishizu is my my Yu-Gi-Oh crush, personally. More of a My Valentine guy.
Okay.
You know, though I know Ishizu has a lot of support out there, so I respect any of you out there who are fans.
He's lying, guys. He likes Emma from Dual World.
More of a Bella fan.
That's my dog's
Mark
name.
said I liked Blair.
She's what, 13? That sounds about right. A guy like you.
I don't even think she's that old, man.
I
She's
don't
like isn't she like 3rd grade or something
I don't know.
in the show?
All I
I'm
know,
pretty
man,
sure she's
is
like
love conquers
concerningly young.
all.
Love knows no bounds.
Sakura says Carly best girl. Without the freaky glasses, maybe? I don't know. This thing's weird me
Carly,
out.
best girl? Really? Carly?
Signer Carly?
Of
Okay.
all the girls you can pick,
Definitely the best character to play Karakuri on, because you can call it Carly Curry.
that's, you know what, I can't argue that.
It comes with she comes with level augmentation. So
True.
works out. Stevie says, if her age is on the clock, ellipses, from monkeyboy44. I mean, it's got a direct quote, so it's got to be true. I saw it on the internet.
Facts. You know, Heinz, you seem more like, or like more of a U-Bell kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I don't know,
know?
chicks half off.
Just bring something interesting to the table, you know?
Yeah,
Something
you
about
don't,
her.
you don't know which is which side you're gonna get, you know.
Stevie, the 44 is the amount of years in jail you will get. True. Mystery unraveled. Alright, though, we are seeing this grid, or is this Cyber Dragon?
Yo, speaking of Mokuba guys, Zeko, remember when
Grid.
Seto made that that Duel World? He made his little brother like a little princess. Remember that? Now that's some projections. They sent in Heroes, I guess, as the second deck, so Heroes versus Crystron's not what I would consider a favorable matchup.
I would say it depends. I guess we'll see kind of how it plays out. I'm curious to see what they do here. Also worth noting, again from this team, they're bringing another very expensive Prisma card, this time Prisma Stratos. Again, twice as effective.
Yeah, who let old Rafa here on Nerd Cheek's account? What's going on?
I know, man. These are not cheap cards.
Now,
Like,
the selection
at all?
box did allow you to upgrade cards.
Oh,
so-
okay. That actually is probably it. Even still, though, that's not cheap to do either.
You would think that with this deck, Luca would be the whale in the duel, you know? Because he's got a whale.
My turn. I draw.
I found when I'm playing Crystron's that the matchup against Heroes is basically I auto win unless they get 3 monsters on the board and then follow it up with a Plasma.
Yeah, Plasma is very, very problematic here.
Now he did dump the Citadel Whale, so that means he's got that Sulfethmir in the hand as we see it activate. And he got a nice little
Okay.
+1. Oh, and he gets that impact in the graveyard nice and early as well.
I like it.
It's looking mighty good for Luca here.
Monster's effect activates. I'll show you no mercy. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
And Plasma, you know, does like to stop effects on the board from monsters, but even with the effect of the whale negated, it's still going to be very hard to target a water monster on the board as long as Sea Stealth Attack is around.
Special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Yeah, Sea Stealth Attack just an issue in general for most decks to deal with.
Face down. Let's battle.
Typically Hero is running more of like a Trunade variant than Cyclones as well, so that doesn't do much to this.
Complete. Fuel my victory.
But we'll see.
My turn.
You see a lot of Cyclones coming from Heroes these days?
The tides. Here's
Not
face
really.
card.
I mean, I saw a few in like KC Cup maybe, but predominantly Trunade. Cyclone also doesn't mesh super well with Grit.
Flabber in the chat says, WTF is this, Heinz? I got an ad. Well, we're not in my channel, my friend. Gotta subscribe
Sorry,
to
Flabber.
Duel Links Team Wars. But also, if you're in the chat, don't forget to subscribe to twitch.tv/Duel Links Team Wars. And then, while you got that credit card in your hand, the best thing you could do is go on over to twitch.tv/ Heinz underscore ketchup and sub over there, especially if you have some extra money in your wallet, like somebody in the chat named OCG Juked who just won a Meta Weekly. Oh my gosh, a Meta Weekly champion in the chat.
Welcome. We appreciate you being here.
I just like that segue.
That was good, you know?
Man's from the same city as me.
Or if you happen to be NA and based out of the US and you just got your stimulus check, that's a great thing to go spend on Timor's and Heinz's channels. Just give it a shot. Try it out.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's for you.
Just check to see if it even works, you know?
How do you know if it works if you don't try it, guys? Come on. It's curiosity, if nothing else.
Stratos gonna add a hero monster from the deck to the hand. He is not opting to destroy spells and traps on the board. He knows the Sea Stealth attack can protect. That's one of the effects.
Yep.
Oh, but he does add Destiny Hero Plasma to the hand.
Does add the plasma. Plasma does come to field.
And we do not see a toggle from Luca. He doesn't activate the Citri early. Wait, it's negated? Why is Citri negated? What oh, because the plasma's out already. That's why.
Yep.
But he's got caught in the net, and the whale is going to leave the field.
Okay.
Merlin says Heinz is a registered charity. True.
And the dodge does stop whale from being negated because plasma only negates monsters on field.
Yeah, very nice play from Luca there.
Yeah, agreed.
Almost as if he baited him. Hook, line, and sinker like some kind of fisherman.
Possibly a legendary fisherman.
Thematic. I like it.
Now, Malicious will swing in. Citri will likely summon something out. He's got options for level 7 as well as level 5.
Oh, but he's got that Celestial.
Okay. So Malicious here forces the summon.
And Undyne coming back, much like my undying love for monkeyboy44, my co-caster.
Oh my gosh. Big wow.
Yeah, this is looking like a snack wrap to me, unless this man's got triple mask change in his hand. And he's only got 2 cards, so... my math is correct. He doesn't.
Monster's effect activates. I'll show you no mercy. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. I'll teach you to stay out of the waters. I special summon a monster.
And another Solfafnir comes out, so that is a board full of level 5 or higher water monsters, all of which benefiting from the effect of that Sea Stealth attack on the board.
I know. I mean, that's insanely problematic. It's looking like probably a GG at this point.
And you can't even target the water monsters because the whale's sitting there like, nah, you're not allowed to touch me. You're ugly. Your mom dresses you funny, and just none of my wet boys. You don't touch them either. They too slippery for you, and just don't touch them.
As people say, don't touch my wet boy. You know. Now, really, the biggest objective here on that last turn for Crystron was probably just to proc or get rid of the grit. Whether or not he could swing for lethal, I mean, would have been saved by grit either way. So, and we see a scoop.
Yeah, of course that scoop comes through, and that puts BZ in an early lead, 2-1. But I mean, what else would you expect from a team that was a finalist in Season 6, losing only to this Champions Destiny draw? You know, they won Winter League. They were both the finalists in the Winter League. And then they also came through and went undefeated all the way to the finals last season.
Yeah, I
Destiny
mean,
draw
it's a good
is
team.
nuts.
It's a really good team.
Got a target on their back this season for sure.
Yeah, they're in my team's division. They're definitely one that we have our eye on as far as the team to watch out for.
And you know what? You're probably on their radar too as a team to watch out for.
I think we are actually. I saw I myself don't actually have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Twitter, but a lot of the guys on my team do. So one of them sent a screenshot of I think we posted our roster, and then they like retweeted it, but with the comment of like, this is basically the NA version of D-Draw. That was kind of a, feels good.
Yeah, I mean,
One
they're
good
basically
team
saying,
acknowledging another.
yeah, you're on our level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably just be nice, but still.
Yeah. I mean, either way, big respect to those guys.
No, I'd say they seem like a very respectful team.
Yeah, no, I would say so for sure. Although typically teams that are primarily like, I don't know, non-based in the language, I feel like are decently respectful in like other language type leagues.
You heard it here first. Monkey boys are racist.
I just mean like if you're not completely proficient in the language, and granted some of them are, but I imagine not a lot of I've seen not a lot of their team players hang out in general chats or anything. So I'd imagine that like if you're not 100% in the language, you probably don't run in and talk trash.
Shout out to BZ Sakura in the chat. He's also on the roster, but he subscribed to Tier 1. That is 8 freaking months from BZ Sakura.
What shall I play?
Way to go.
Monsters effect activate.
Not a bad sub at all. 8 months, a good streak.
So we have Sham coming in. He'll be our top player, and he is playing Dork Magician, which I think is
Dork Magician.
one of those funny matchups that we were talking about right at the beginning of the stream before we even knew that Luca was going to be coming in with C Stealth Attack Cristrons. Is oddly enough, the regular Cristrons kind of have a favorable matchup versus Dark Magician, and then C Stealth Attack has a less than stellar matchup versus Dark Magician.
Yep. Yeah, definitely a good deck to be bringing in, especially with No Mortal Can Resist as well. Anything that can NMCR the Crystron Grave, really either variant, is going to start to do some kind of problematic things to Crystrons pretty quickly.
And speaking of problematic things to the Grave, Ryan is one of those cards that you really want to see against No Mortal Can Resist, and Luca forced to discard one for the Solfefnir effect.
Yep, and so discard, summons out Sentry.
Oh, but he's got that whale.
Into Whale, okay.
Now is the perfect time. My monster's effect activates. I set a card face down.
Well, on the bright side for the whale, at least, can't be targeted by that dark magical circle. The only issue is that the back row is not safe from being banished. And
Yeah.
My turn is complete.
no magician navigation just yet, but off of No Mortal Can Resist threshold by 50 life points.
Oh my gosh, that's painful. But yeah, to that point, I mean, he's really hoping for, no live nav here, which it looks like Dark Magician's very quickly working toward. Oh my god,
Cosmic
okay.
Cyclone, and that is both Umidao and No Mortal Can Resist live. And he's losing a Thistvern for that, as No Mortal Can Resist goes off. That is Thistvern and Solfefnir, and 2 tuners all hit with a No Mortal Can Resist.
Also worth noting is that Whale is now below the 2500 threshold of Dark Magician.
That's true as well. And you can't be activating those Umis from the banish pile, and those are a lot of bony boys in that grave.
Yep, and typically, almost always, I would say, basically no SSA deck like this is running a second Umi.
And if you take a look at the artwork on the Skull Servant, he's actually showing, since the decomposition started, that's how big his peepee is.
True.
Showing
Yep,
it with his
that is fact.
thumb and forefinger right there.
Yeah.
Don't let decomp happen to you guys.
Let's battle. There's
Fight
a
the decomp.
storm coming for you. I attack with the monster.
But we know Luke is a top tier player anyway. He's got all these Skull Servants. but you know dang well, excuse my language, that he's got King of the Skull Servants in his hand. He's just waiting for the right moment.
I special summon a mock very well. I special summon just as I expected.
He targeted the whale.
To continue with
Ah, but he's gonna chain block with the rod.
Okay, yep. The old chain block. That works. Yeah, Rod does get priority there to activate its effect first. And then
just
whale
as I expected.
can't do its thing.
Monster's effect activate very well. I special
Imagine how
summon a
nasty this
mock
play would be
very
if
well.
Circle wasn't a hard once per turn.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. That would be probably a little too busted for Duel Links.
Even if it was like, what if it was like not even once per chain? Because the way navigation works is it special summons one and then the other, so it would just.
Here I go.
That'd be pretty wild.
And that's
Okay,
going to be
though.
lethal there for Sham. Played that extremely well and ties up the score 2-2.
Yep, played it well. The right counter pick. I think for anybody who's playing the Team Wars match a little bit later into the weekend, like this like Saturday night type match, or especially the Sunday ones, what you're gonna really start to notice if you paid attention to Wars is that having appropriate answers to Crystron SSA is huge. You really don't want to run out of answers because there's not a lot of decks where you can, kind of struggle and stumble your way through into a win.
Yeah, you basically have to hope they open all tuners.
Yeah, or just like a very weird situation.
I mean, that's one thing too about Crystron's. At least it's not a helmet deck, so some players will actually just straight up throw with the deck, which can be helpful if you're playing against them.
That's true as well. Yeah, it's definitely a situation where, like, if you're going to play the deck, you should really know it. If you're going to play against the deck, you should know what it does. I'm not going to claim it's the most exciting deck, but at the same time, like you mentioned, it's definitely not a helmet deck. It's just a deck that does the same thing a bunch of times. Just uses engine pieces to spit out synchro monsters. It synchros into the same couple things, and that's the strategy. SSA makes it a little more interesting.
Slots, man. I don't know what you're looking for. What kind of diversity you're looking for? Just a moment ago, you're being all racist, talking about now you're all about diversity. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here. Now curious because now there's another counter pick coming in, right? From the BZ side.
Yeah, they did manage to get that counter pick priority by eliminating a player first, so it's a little bit better.
Yep, so they are ahead on the counter pick advantage. And what would you be sending into Dark Magician here?
I'd probably send in something with Dark Magician Girl to try to bait the Dark Magician into not attacking his own apprentice.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I like that for sure. Some kind of like anti-Dark Magician teched out deck,
Yeah, you just you slap down a Kaiku of the Ghost Destroyer, and then you hit them with the Last Day of the Witch. Blow up your own Kaiku, but it doesn't matter because they can't banish the navigation. Board's empty. Yep. Then you just summon a match in a fortress, and then hit it with a backup rider, and there you go. You got game.
Yep. Backup rider, very common meta card. Just drop it and get that plus 15.
We got BZ Sakura coming through. Maybe with Ritual Beast or something?
Definitely a deck that he is known for, but I would be surprised if he was bringing that in now. We'll see.
He is known as a hero player.
Whatever it is a thick Shizu deck. Strongly doubt he opted for the mirror, so that kind of limits the potential options here. 21 cards. Interesting.
And he's got some E on them. And if you brought E, he's ready for a party, and I hope you brought enough for everybody. Cosmic Cyclone coming up.
Gosh,
This very well
Cyclone
could be Shiranui.
Hits a
it's Heroes.
bluff. Now there's a very strong chance here, if there's not really any delay, that Dark Magician could have just hard bricked. Obviously didn't open Rod, or it would be on the field. No circles.
Stratos. He's just blasting that back row to pieces, and yeah, that's a dead clash, dead illusion magic.
Oh, now That's a good hit, is the clash that you can hit before they're able to do anything.
Yeah.
Now this man gives 0 hex. Dark Magician doesn't play any sphere Karibos or anything, so if he's got a way to get to lethal here, he just goes for it.
Konami looked at Sham and said, "Hey, nice spell cards you opened with there. It'd be a shame if you didn't have any monsters to use those with." Because they both need monsters to use. Polymerization going into a Vision Hero Trinity, going to attack him directly for 5,000, right?
I fusion summon a monster.
Nope. Going Adoration.
My monster's effect
Nope.
activates.
Can't attack directly with Trinity. That was joshing.
Let us battle.
Also, keep in mind, that's another Prismatic Stratos we see, by the way.
My monster and now you will regret.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's yeah. Although I think I actually did know Sakura went in on some Prismatic Stratos from those selection gems, selection box gems, jewels, whatever they are.
It would make sense that he would bling out his spirit deck.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you. Do you have any opinions at all on whether or not you care if Konami made the selection box jewels a thing for Prismatics?
I think it's a cool thing. You know, people spend a lot of money on those, and you know, if they want to bling out some cards for it, then good for them. Because, and Soul Cardinal says that's a natty Stratos. I don't know, man. He looked like he was on some on some juice. And we have Sham Kanaf coming in with deck number 2 to take on heroes. And if he's got his name as Sham Kanaf, do you think he's gonna be playing some Cristrons? Because I see a Jesse Anderson.
Ooh, now that could definitely happen. Yep, that Jesse does give me the impression we're gonna see some Cristrons coming, channeling his inner Wayne, known as one of the Crystron gods, who's been playing the deck for far longer than it's been top tier. That's okay, because now he's really good at it, and it is top tier. So
That's true.
that's a cool, helpful bonus to practice the deck in advance.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually there's really only a few of us that have been on that deck for like a really long time, and I mean, it's like Wayne, Scrocky, Francisco, Schofield. I'll throw myself in that because even before we got this for an impact, I was playing that deck pretty heavily. I very much loved it, and yeah. Aside from that, there wasn't too many other players that were like riding that deck hard, getting king of games with it throughout those months. It wasn't top tier, but all that time practicing has definitely paid off.
Oh, I'm sure. To be honest, I mean, I was thinking about this earlier today. That's probably been one of the more, like, surprisingly good long-term investments out of more recent decks. Like, it's one that's been, like, at least decently viable. Like, it wasn't always, you know, tier 1, mega top tier, but it was a viable enough deck with interesting kind of use cases, and it's just stayed relevant enough. Kind of sometimes more, sometimes less over a pretty good amount of time now.
So what does Sakura have against World Legacy Clash, man? He is just eating those things up.
I know, but wow, what a good card to hit.
And I'm surprised, like you were saying, that it's such a good investment because Reddit told me that Crystron was going to be trash.
I mean, to be fair, like, it really wasn't the kind of deck you would have expected to stay powerful or especially become more powerful.
I still get a
You know
laugh
what I
when
mean?
when I
Like-
think back of DK talking about how good Crystron's was going to be when he first saw the box. And he was like talking about how you could set up a Black Rose on your opponent's turn because he didn't read the card properly. And he's like, you do this, Black Rose on your opponent's turn. This deck's going to be top tier. And then like half the chat was like, you know, it can only summon machines then, right? And he just wasn't paying attention. He said it like
Wait.
5 more times. Loved it.
That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I had always considered that box to be like relatively skippable myself because Crystron at the time was, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't mega top tier. And then Cyber Dragon being the other deck that was similarly like okay, but probably not consistent enough.
And now Cyber
Yeah, that
Dragon's
deck's
doing
definitely
quite
paid
well.
off.
That box has actually kind of paid off now that we have more Crystron and more Cyber Dragon support.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you really
Cyber
need
Dragon,
that box for Cyber Dragon, but you know,
Yeah.
twin, I guess.
Cyber Dragon, I think probably a little shy or a little too low on consistency to be, you know, the most reliable deck, but definitely still a threat. I think if Sidra had like one more consistency card, or even like 1 to 2 copies of a consistency card, I think it would be really, really strong, but it's just a little bit shy of being able to do what it needs to often enough.
They do have that one card that level 30 Zane plays, right? Cyber something draws a card or something.
I can't say I play against level 30 Zane enough to know.
Freaking casual. Masco Changeo on the Malicios.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you know, one thing I did see the other day, with in regards to Cyber Dragon, I was casting the PCT, and one of the players, Ioic, he was playing a Cyber Dragon deck that was basically 17 cards because he was running 3 Into the Voids, and he was running like triple Cybernetic Fusion support and Overload Fusion as well, and he was just going ham. I think he made top 8.
Interesting.
That was very neat.
Yeah, I mean, that could be worth looking into more. I think really the consistency is the biggest thing that Cyber Dragon lacks, right? Like, it's the power ceiling's there. And very easily wipe with non-targeting destruction. It's pretty hard to, like, side against. There's no real card that, like, blows out Cyber Dragon or completely stops it from doing what it's trying to do.
We do have Aquarian Gandrax coming out against a full board here. Also, if anybody has hemorrhoids in the chat, I suggest you don't do what Monkey Boy says and try to wipe with non-targeting destruction.
Oh my God. Not bad. But yeah, like you said, the Aquarion coming onto the board, no back row to save any of these monsters, and 3k points from
It's exactly
the Cyclone he used earlier, so there's lethal.
Yeah, that's why Crystron's such a strong match against heroes. I was talking about this. It's like, you basically just say, I win unless they get Plasma on the board, and that was pretty much the story of that duel right there.
Yeah.
And I do have to update the scores for Sakura as well. He is now 1-1. And he'll be going into his second deck as Sham has tied up the score. It's 3-3.
Yeah, I could very well see this being a pretty close war, to be honest. Which, as any of our personal longtime watchers happen to know, we typically cast wars that are, you know, usually 10-8, 10-9.
Yeah, I mean, I would not want to spend any less time with you than the maximum available. So I'm really hoping to see some Crystron versus Ritual Beast matchups coming through here as well. That's always my favorite.
Please no. Possibly some Crystron versus like Temple Burn type matchups, you know?
Oh, good, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Because I know my crystal beasts will do their job. Duel.
Possibly a maybe like a match of like Cyberstein that goes first with Ojama King versus a deck that runs specifically one out, and that out is in the bottom of the deck.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and it's not the life cost 0. Is that it?
Yeah, life cost 0.
It's not that one. They literally only get the Ojama King. They're using like life point boost Omega.
Gamma.
Omega it is. Yeah, Gamma. What's the one that gives you 7,000 life points?
Gamma is the only one that gives you enough life points, I think, to actually.
I think it is Gamma. I think you're right. I think it's Gamma's the one that gives you 55, and then you have 3 cards starting hand.
No, I think it would be Beta. Gamma's the one that gives you like a 1 card starting hand.
Oh, really?
There's one that's that bad. It's the third one. Because Alpha puts you up to 5,000, and then there's one that puts you a little above that, which would be Beta. And then yeah, Gamma's the one that gives you like literally 1 card in your hand.
Sakura kind of looking like he might have expected to lose to Crystron's here, because he's coming straight in with Palace of the Elemental Lords, so going to be invoked.
Yeah. Yep, very good pairing. He likely was prepared for that, which is good. And kind of like we were talking about earlier, you know, the SSA decks can be favored versus Saber, but the regular variant not nearly as much. This matchup can definitely still go either way. It's by no means like an absolute blowout from Saber's side, but Saber has a lot that they can do to stop this.
Yeah, and the better the player you are, I think, with Element Sabers, the better the chance you have against Crystron's, because timing really is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what they say the most fundamental aspect of comedy is?
What's that?
Timing!
Thanks, Heinz.
You know
Now
what the
does go
second
for the
most
saber.
is?
What?
Repetition.
Okay. Man, you're good at comedy. Thank you
man.
for your lessons.
Anytime.
Now he does opt to go for the saber play of stopping the synchro summon. Really does not want him to get to that 25. Did know he had an impact here, which is going to be decently problematic because it will stop this melee hoop for at least one effect. And then really only has one back row, so not the best position for sabers to be in, really. A void trap hole would be really good, but there's a lot of things here that, you know, might not be good enough.
Come on out. I special summon a monster.
Looks like he's going to likely go for Aquarion play.
That would be very early indeed. There is the impact in the grave.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's got the impact for protection. He can wipe out any, like, immediate ability for, or wipe out some of the grave fuel, I guess.
But a well-timed floodgate trap hole from Sakura.
Okay.
Also, Diego in the chat says, Heinz is so happy today. What happened, bruh? Well, I was a bit down on myself because my team ended up taking a hard L. But I do have my friend Monkey Boy here to console me, and he gave me a hug in the back rub, told me it would all be okay, and it cheered me right up.
It's true. It's true. That's what I'm here for. If any of you need back rubs, you just let your boy know.
Funny story, my back is located on my...
Fun fact about Heinz's back, it's on his front.
And there's a Sphere Karibo from Sakura. Gonna put that fist burn right to defense. Oh, sorry, Soul Cardinal. Did it cut out? Sorry, it's right on my...
Set this card face down.
Back rubs are against social distancing.
True. Heinz, what was your team's final score again?
7.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's okay though. That's you know, I mean that's an easy enough to come back from. -3 is not a horrible way to start out the season.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
so bad.
workable. Yeah.
There's a bit of a lead, and then some really rough bricks against Kristrons. And Zeko played really well, and must have had a really consistent build because he was opening beautifully every game, and he played well. And it was a nicely played from Zeko. And then I think probably a couple mistakes on our team, probably minor, but then really just god-awful hands that just did nothing against the deck. I think Skill Shot ended up opening 2 Sphere Karibos and 2 of like the vanilla element sabers essentially in one game.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But you know, those things happen, and you know, the way I look at you know, week 1 is like making pancakes. The first one's the throwaway.
True. Fair. Yeah, I think just about every team is shaking off some rust. I know you know, we definitely had a few kind of small misplays from TZ's side as well today, and I've definitely seen some over the course of this weekend. So I think just about every team is kind of starting to just have to get back in the groove of, you know, competitive team formats.
Yeah, and I mean that new box really shook the meta up.
Yeah, there's so many new relevant cards out of that box. It was
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely a must-have.
Show 'em what you can do.
Oh my gosh, Sam Destroyer.
sorry, did you say Sham Destroyer?
Haha.
Because he's from comedy.
I set a card.
Yeah, this is a really bad position for Sabers to be in.
Goes right ahead and swings with that powered in Zektron.
This man gives no hex about Destiny Draw.
Sorry, Chad, if you have you know, any sensitivities towards language, I do apologize for Monkey Boy's language there.
No hex, man.
And
That's all I have
Vesper
to say.
going in for lethal into a second spherical rainbow.
What? Okay.
Man, he's got them
Lot of
balls,
spheres.
dude.
A lot of sphere boys, but all the same, I mean, was able to burn through a lot of good back rows, so that's helpful. I'm curious, though, if he has a way to possibly, like, a Lance face down or a Lancia in hand. Because a perk is decently problematic here.
All right. I summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Also, Dan said that must have a consistent build was the best euphemism for we got Luxac. Now, I don't think I would go so far as to say it was Luxac. And there is the Lance as predicted
There it
by
is.
Monkey Boy.
All right.
I was gonna say that you can't really say you got Luxac by Crystron's too well, or too much, because you still have to play the deck well. It's not like you're getting instant OTK'd every time by like the one combo. So
I mean, that's the other thing about Crystron's too, is like it's a pretty dang consistent deck. Like
yeah,
if I have
really
to give it
can
one
be.
thing, it does what it does shockingly consistently, especially for a 30 card deck that just has a lot of starters. So I mean, yeah, like it may have been a skill thing, it may have been a luck thing, but either way, like
The
deck
best you
is
could do is get a
surprisingly,
balance of both,
yeah.
And Sacker looking like he's in a pretty rough spot here.
There
That
it
Lance
is, yep.
Pretty much the nail in the coffin. And that's that counter pick that we said that he was ready for, but the techs from Crystron's are basically made to make your bad matchups good matchups. And if you get your techs,
Yeah.
you typically do
Yep.
well.
Transcendent Crystal, Crystron's definitely known for running some anti-saber cards.
I mean, the cards that your worst matchups, Shiranui can be a problem at times, and Element Sabers, of course, and Lance and Lancia helps against both to a certain degree. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Sakura going 1 and 2, Luca 2 and 2, Sham now 3 and 1, picking up where Rafa left off with his 1 and 2 score, and now Sham gets to wait for his next opponent from BZ, from whom we still have Toby, Blue Neos, and Akai.
Man, look at the wholesomeness from the refs on table 1. I'm impressed. That was a great duel.
It's basically flirting at this point. Put it away, ladies. Come on.
I know. Not bad. Also worth noting here, though, is that Sham was able to pull back the counterpick advantage to his team's advantage.
That's true.
So good job there. Well done. That's huge. Especially if it's going to be a close war. Like, typically that can, if you come down to last player versus last player, having the counterpick advantage can be what seals the deal on that. Also well played by Sham, knowing when he can safely swing in and do some damage, and knowing when to not.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing you do have to kind of play around is Destiny draw in that matchup, and Sham pretty much able to just go all in, knowing that even if the Destiny draw was going to go for that Alistair, which it so often does, he had that Lance sitting in the back, and he was ready for it.
Yep.
I guess the other thing too is sometimes in a situation like that, what you could do is interesting question, Andy. But what you could do is
Saw that too.
set your Alistair the Invoker in a situation like that, and still have the safety of having a sizable body on the board. But with that Samurai Destroyer, he was really getting no value even from a play like that.
Yeah, Sam Destroyer is tough for that deck to deal with, or for Sabers to deal with. Just a really annoying card, to be honest.
It's also just one of those cards that any deck that can make generic level 7s benefits so much from Samurai Destroyer, because there's so many matchups that it can just kind of win on its own. Like you need it as a tech when you're taking on Ritual Beasts as an example. Those Windas, you have to stop them from floating so they'll finally run out of resources. Any deck that has a floating effect, Samurai Destroyer really good. Negation effects, you swing in with Samurai Destroyer. Econ is one of those cards that can steal a game, and Samurai Destroyer helps it accomplish that.
Yeah, it's such a widespread negate, right? Like we've seen things from, for instance, like Ancient Gears before, but those just negate like spell and traps, which is obviously very powerful. But like the spell trap negation, or at least stopping the activation of those, in addition to the monster effect negation, is really big.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is, we have something like Armades that says your opponent can't activate effects, but Samurai Destroyer straight up negates the effects. So even something like Yubble that would have the continuous effect of battle destruction,
Yep,
it's turned
just,
off by Samurai Destroyer. That man just runs them over.
Yep. Also, it's during a battle. It's not just when it swings, which is nice as well, which makes it really tough to deal with.
That's true. And we have Akai now on the bottom taking on Sham, and he is coming in with what I can only imagine is going to be Bad Guy Sleeves Thunder Dragons.
Step right up to get
I mean, it's either that or it's Cyber Darks, right?
Ah, true. Yeah, you can normal summon, you play around the Amatrix that way.
Yeah,
Big
man.
ol' Wall of D Cyber Darks, basically a hard
Yep.
counter.
Cyber Darks coming in. Well known for being a relevant, up-to-date, top-tier deck.
Yeah, you'd be ashamed if you got hit with Aquarian Gandrax.
My monster's effect activate. Show 'em what you can do. I special summon a mon-
And very solid opening here from Sham as well. With the Fistburn, has a set card, gets to blow up his Tortoise. Has that Soul Fafnir in the grave. Unfortunately, did have to discard the Citri, which isn't optimal, but still in a pretty good position here.
I draw. Honk. From my hand, I activate.
And it looks like it is going to be Thunder Dragons as we see that gold sarcophagus go off.
My monster's effect activates.
Roar going to drop a Thunder Dragon on the board. It'll return in the end phase unless it gets synchroed off or something. I think we might have lost Monkey Boy. Might have gone to take a poop or something.
Nope, still here.
Watch this.
Just listening.
Summon a monster.
Watching some Thunder Dragon cards do their Thunder Dragon thing.
Ooh, glow up bulb.
Monster in attack position.
Okay, level 7 access being pretty big. Straight into Black Rose, probably? Yep, straight into Black Rose.
Now he did actually, Sham did send the Solfefnir and a Citri. Now Citri is a hard once per turn effect, but he can easily float off of this Amatrix. It won't get the effect to change everything to defense position, not that it'll matter, but he will have the opportunity to float. And he gets his this friend in the graveyard as well.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out. My monster's effect activates.
I didn't know Vera was Andy's mom. That's cool.
I special summon
Nice.
a monster.
But yep, so Amatrix floats into Solf, who will float again. Really just doing a lot to help him survive.
Activate a spell.
Now the glow up bulb is live in the grave, so that helps for another potential synchro play coming.
Effect activates.
Oh, gets that duo. This is one thing about Crystron's too that I think is really the strength of the deck. You know, they have the that windstorm and all that, but really it's just that this board doesn't break. You just have to keep blowing it up, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, it's tough to make a push through that. That's where
But if you
Very
can
much.
force them to go through, oh, there's a good way to do it.
Effect activates.
okay. That might be it.
And I
Yep.
think it is, as the duo is going to
That
come
is
out,
it.
and without any Sphere Karibos from Sham, what a nice turn from Akai.
Nice, very well done.
And speaking of boards that don't break, the board is now broken, and Heinz Ketchum is eating his words with ketchup.
Didn't stand a chance.
And it ties up the score once again.
Gotten taken down this bad before. A twerp like
Yeah, I think at this point, I'm going to be a little surprised if we see either team break out with a very hard lead. I could really very easily see this going back and forth the whole way through.
Yeah, unfortunate to see Akai brick on his first game like that, but still managed to play through it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really wondering as we continue to see this kind of go down the line if Sham being able to take that counter pick advantage will come back to be a kind of the pivotal moment of this war.
Yeah, it's very true. You know, we do have these moments that can really change the momentum in a player's favor, and just taking the lead like that can really do it. And the counter picks have been putting in work thus far.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably, a little early for us to like definitively say if that is the pivotal moment, but I think it's something that like as a viewer who's watching this whole thing, maybe just kind of keep that in the back of your mind and think like, once we get down, if we get down to like an 8-8 type situation, is it really going to come down to who had the counter pick?
Yeah, it definitely can. And I mean, this is the part of the war as you reach that midpoint. Now is the point where you have to consider, okay, we've seen what they've brought. What do they have left? And that's one thing. The Forbidden Ones have not used a repeat yet. So while you do have that extra resources, the Forbidden Ones, the one thing they don't have is that veil of secrecy on what was in the back. And that's the one thing that the repeat does bring is you don't know what that extra deck slot was. You can expect a certain amount of each deck, but then once you get to that point, you're like, okay, well, we don't know what that guy had. So you have to try to reverse engineer, go, okay, well, he had that deck, he repeated it. So what would have been a good pair for that, and then try to extrapolate. And it's a lot of things you have to think about in such a short window of time between games. You really have to send that next player in. And that's when it gets down to that blitz chess as you get further and further into the war.
Yeah, good analogy. I like that, the blitz chess.
I assume that the chat knows what chess is. They seem like nerds.
Probably.
And this
Yeah,
is
I was looking at some of the names in there. We've for sure got a lot of nerds.
Speaking of chess, you hear Magnus Carlsen lost to like some kid? It's like 16 years old. It's crazy.
Is it the kid in India?
Yeah.
Nice. No, cool.
I thought that was wild, It's like the youngest chess grandmaster
Grandmaster,
loses to another young chess grandmaster. Very interesting stuff. And that's 30 card Yami Yugi coming through. And I don't see Spell Specialist. That looks like just a big ass Elemental Saber deck.
Oh my gosh. 30 cards. Hello?
And he's opening up with sets.
Alright, I mean that's not horrible. It's not the most ideal, but it's not horrible. In chat, Michael, that kid in India is bonkers. Don't sleep.
Oh, I never sleep. Oh, what a mill! Ooh! Gold Sark and 2
another Lev
here.
And Gold Sark. Well,
yucky.
Yeah, that's a good word to describe that.
You better get a duo and start recycling them things.
Yeah, man.
Yikes!
It's that's a nice feel for the Saber player who's like, man, now I know exactly how many Levianeers I need to worry about, and it's 1.
And there goes a Hawk in the Dark. That's a little bit better. You can start milling some Thunder Dragon cards.
That's a lot of bit better.
It's really like watching your money get flushed down the drain, eh?
Something like that. Roar back into Hawk. Hawk will press some of the Roar out.
And
or actually, maybe the Dark
Hawk
into like a
indeed.
level 9 would make more sense. Since
Yeah,
he
you
has
would
a tuner.
get a search off and get the tuner. Vermilion, I mean, it's just straight plussing. That's +2 if he doesn't get interrupted.
Yep, Vermilion, to be safe, you probably want to pop the monster, I feel like, just in case it's an alley. You really don't want to have to swing into an Alistair and give him the search. Plus, at that point, it threatens lethal, so like he's gonna have to start to use some of the back row.
I expected you to do that. I reveal my face.
And we have a Void Trap Hole coming through for Vermilion Dragon Mech. That is a tech that we've seen rise in popularity since about February. Just been on the upswing, especially since that selection box dropped Levineer. Void Trap Hole has gone up in stock. And here comes that duo that I was talking about earlier.
Summon a monster. Battle time. This'll pack a wallop.
see if that's the Alistair that you were talking about. No, it's a lap, and gives him a little lap dance, but he's also going to get a search off this duo. You know, we're talking about the risk of potentially swinging into a monster, but at least without clearing the monster. Oh, a point of the Red Lotus. I was just about to mention Destiny Draw and not being able to proc it, even, you know, by not swinging or whatever. You still get some value off your battle phase, but it's not going to matter because the pointer of the Red Lotus is going to reveal that hand and do some benition.
Yeah, we see Jet Synchron too, which is another option for some plays kind of down the road.
And another Raiden in the hand as well. Now, he could go so far as to banish the Dark. I mean, it's the only card that's going to get any kind of value on his opponent's turn, but he opts for the Hawk. I was going to say the Dark already using its effect that turn. Could easily have banished that and not allowed it to discard to fuel up that grave or thin the deck.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe in my cards. I draw.
So does D-Draw. Almost definitely an Alistair coming.
I mean, you have to assume, I guess, but, you know, he has the Invocation in the hand already. And I do wonder about, you know, he doesn't have lethal even with a Purgatrio. Does he want to give him that baggy sleeves?
I mean, he could always go like Madge. Or, well, probably not Madge, because Madge will get popped or bounced by something. Casitas just to survive, maybe? I don't know, he's really not in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, so few cards, down to 2,000 life points. Yeah, what do you Destiny Draw in a situation like that? He did go for Alistair, as predicted.
I mean, you kind of have to, right? Like, there's no
At least it goes
singular
+1
back
and you...
row. Yeah.
Do you think maybe Kaliga?
My monster's effect activates.
Kaliga's interesting.
He's gonna go Earth. You called it
Does
with the
go-
Magelenica.
You know, I mean, I don't know if that's the right play, though. You know, as I suggested Earth, I was kind of thinking out loud, but, like, we know he's got access to these tuners, right?
Counting on you.
Like, he
Fusion summon a
has
monster.
Jet Synchron. He has Hawk that he'll get back here soon.
Activate a spell.
Well, he won't get Hawk until the end of his,
Well, yeah,
his own
until the
next
end of
end
his
phase.
turn, that's true. So maybe he's just hoping no Hawk?
From my hand, I activate a spell. My monster's effect activates.
Here comes Invocation gun number 2. Gonna discard on the Magelenica. He will be able to make a second monster here. And it very well might be that Kaliga.
It's gonna have to be that Kaliga, actually. But that's not horrible, I guess.
This boosts the duo, right? So Kaliga actually, you know, one thing, he could have banished the Dark here. Got that Dark out of the way. The duo forced to use his effect. He would only get the one effect for the turn, and it would have been duo. Here comes Baggy Sleeves. He opted to banish the Legionnaire, which kind of does some of the work for Akai here, I think. Because doesn't he want that to a degree with the duo if he can establish duo once again?
Yeah, but I don't know. I do feel like you don't want to give the Dark Search if possible.
Melody of Awakening Dragon off the top of the deck. And
Pull the remaining Legionnaire.
Prismatic Legionnaire.
And that's probably just it. Yep.
Yeah, you only really need one effect when you're going to blow up the board.
Summon my monster's effect.
Yeah.
activates.
Yep. And Jet Synchron will single-handedly be enough to finish the rest, even if nothing else.
I summon a monster in attack position.
Or Raiden. Raiden's fine as well.
Is this going to be Onimaru, the Divine Thunder?
Summon a mod battle time.
And that's going to be the scoop as Akai takes it and puts BZ back in the lead. So 30 card Element Sabers, maybe not the wave.
Yeah, I don't know about 30 card. I don't really know what the advantage there would be.
I mean, you got a lot of room for decks, but I mean, you're not really like the reason those big decks were popular in the past was because Grass Shiranui was rampant, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a good counter to that. We've seen Grucius specifically mess with 30 cards since like post Grass era, but he's really the only person, and I mean he's made it work pretty well for himself, but I don't know that that's necessarily been kind of widely considered as the better way to play the deck necessarily.
Man, he's crazy.
He is crazy. Really good guy. Big fan of him, but known for playing some interesting builds of decks every now and then. You let that man make a control deck and he'll get real creative and find something to ruin your whole life.
Oh, Andy's throwing shade in the chat. Damn.
My turn.
Andy, no
Yo,
booty. And it looks like that
Real
was a
talk
repeat.
though, I want nothing more than to see Grucius qualify for Worlds. That guy deserves it more or so much.
Now is the time. I summon a monster in attack position. My monster's effect activates.
Opening the Alistair in 30 cards. Very nice.
Not bad. Feels good.
From my hand, I activate.
And he
Opening
has
the Alistair
material
and
in
an
the hand.
element.
Forgot. Let me see Nalu one time.
Now it's the
Smolay.
dark, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice floodgate for dealing with element sabers.
That's really good actually.
I activate a spell.
Thank you, Resline, in the chat, making sure that everything's running smoothly. Big shout out to Resline and Mimi, by the way, doing some hard referee work and making sure everything runs smoothly in the background. They are our esteemed referees, and I really got to get that rule page set up again on this new overlay because these guys work hard and they deserve all the recognition that we can give them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate all the refs for sure. You guys put in a ton of work and have for several years now. So.
Yeah, pretty much everybody but Hazy. That guy's.
Ooh, yeah, definitely not that guy. But almost all the ref team. Gosh,
Yeah.
perfect.
My turn is done.
Oh, and Radlov. That guy too. No, not him.
Nah,
Yeah.
him as well. Yeah, that's a good call.
I draw.
Now, one thing to note here: the Kaliga gonna be a little bit of an issue for this, Thunder Dragon deck as it tries to get set up since it's predominantly monster effect based. But that being said, if Thunders do not swing over Kaliga, then Kaliga will be kind of an issue for Sabers itself next turn. So he won't be able to get an Alistair search as well as change the element in the grave. So like, pros cons, it's a good stall tactic, but it does make it hard to have a strong follow-up.
And that's the one monster effect for the turn for Akai.
Yeah.
Let's see if it was all worth it.
Guess he hopefully has something in hand to normal summon and synchro with.
Yeah, but even still, you synchro in this position, and you're basically going for a level 6 vanilla or a level 9 vanilla.
Yeah, but I think what you do at this point is well, maybe not. I was gonna say I think you hope you can synchro at least, and then set up
Does
just
have
something.
the duo, so tribute sets and sets up the duo. And,
Okay, it gets
unfortunately
flooded.
straight into a floodgate. And if Soul Cardinal can set up a Purgatrio, that's looking like lethal on board potentially.
From my hand,
Also, big shout out to Alex
Alex.
the Bread himself, raiding with a party of 27 people. Hopefully that's that NEO versus Forbidden Memories war went well.
Yeah, Alex, appreciate it. Welcome to anybody who was watching that war. Also, the point I was making last turn about there being a problem from that Kaliga on board with it stopping him from going into a purg is now subverted by Phallus, which is a really good top deck.
Yeah, just draw perfect.
Lets him just search out a fire in the hand. Who needs multiple effects per turn?
Now, if there's a Sphere Karibo from Akai, you know, hand traps aren't,
Here we go.
nope.
Looking like no, yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna
There
say
it
they
is.
don't go amiss in Thunder Dragons, but we'll just stop talking right there as Soul Cardinal takes lethal and ties it right back up.
Hi, dog. Yeah, so last, I was kind of curious what that set monster was going to be. Ended up being a dark that he summoned over a dark, or a dragon dark he summoned over a dragon dark, which really confirms that that was entirely done just to be able to set up a light and dark into grave to get that duo out. But we saw how well that ended up working out.
Bit unfortunate, and Andy saying every war is so close so far this season. That's why we need a real Saki tier 0 meta to get these big blowouts. Come on, Konami.
Yeah, just give us those Kawakis. Come on.
Yeah, remember Kawaki versus Buster Blader? Now that was pure unadulterated Yu-Gi-Oh right there. That was exactly the
That was Yu-Gi-Oh at its finest.
yeah.
Not cancerous at all.
Zade King says he misses for hires. Best meta we've ever had.
I miss Bamboo Burn. You know, bring that back. Give me some Bamboo Burn. If the duel's not over by turn 1, and I mean literally turn 1,
What
why
are
are
we
you
doing?
playing
Is it even speed
Yeah.
duels?
well, what are we doing? I'm sick of all these interactive metas where I have to, you know, play my turn and then sit through my opponent's turn.
Why does my opponent even get to play? Like,
That's a bunch of junk.
honestly, the only reason I do this, and this is why I stream, I don't want to play. I want somebody to watch me play.
Exactly. And that, everyone, is the draw to Bamboo Burn. It's the allure.
And you know, nothing drew better than Bamboo Burn.
That deck was stupid, man. In this duel, though, we see some decks that are not stupid. And we see likely a Saber Mirror coming up. Yep, confirmed.
Let's see what the
Spicy.
superior deck
Wrap
count
into
is.
attack. Is it a bluff or is it not? There's a really big first question.
All right.
Second question becomes how good is that back row?
I set a card. I set a card.
Yo, let me see a concentrating current one time as Malehu tries to go in.
Let's battle. Here we go.
Alehu and 3 back are not bad.
Let's see this little 400 attack. Is that a boy, girl? Whatever.
I think
Yubel. Concentrating
boy.
current, dude!
Oh my!
I love it.
What the?
Yo, we just turned into a dark magician. Look at that. 25 by 21.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. But I think my important next question is that worth it?
I don't know, Malehu dead.
I mean, yeah, but now he's got a live element in grave. Now this lap is just chilling. There's not really a strong follow-up play he can make.
I mean, he got to use
Like,
a
I
concentrating
mean-
current, and he got to do a victory lap.
True. I mean, he's got to make the best of what he has, right? Like, maybe he just needs that lap to survive because that's all he has. Like, at this point, he might not have had the strongest
Look at
hand.
the
So I'm
coolest
certainly
follow-up.
not
He just
judging
set a
him.
Card. What's he gonna book of Taiyu of Alistair? Get out of here. This guy sucks. Concentrating current to the wave. Soul Cardinal defriended Akai is now my best friend.
Oh, my.
From my hand.
And he rips the palace. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Palace probably lets him summon out. I guess we'll see. Check the far card in his hand to see if it was actually an element or not.
Is sacrificing his battle phase of the next turn if there is one.
Attack position.
Is this your favorite mirror? Oh, Floodgate.
I use my face down card. My trap
I mean, it's a pretty good mirror overall amongst, you know, the mirrors that we have in the meta right now.
Monkey Boy told me earlier that Dark Magician was his favorite mirror match.
Love me some Dark Magician mirrors. I wish that was the only deck in the meta, so we could just play nothing but mirrors.
Alright, Floodgate going to be negated here by the lap as Akai starts to crank up his monster's stats with that Palace of the Elemental Lords.
Yep. You really do not want a Malayu to be floodgated in this mirror, because it just becomes a permanent 0 defense target for a Purg to eventually pierce. Oof.
Swings into an Alistair and a
Swings
mirror
into an
wall.
Alistair and a mirror wall. Gets the
Yes.
surge. Keeps.
Speaking of mirrors,
So here's
it's a mirror.
kind of an interesting question: is that mirror wall worth it? Oh, okay. Never mind. Getting progressively more interesting. I now understand.
Ooh, I love this card. Elemental Training, so good.
I really love that card too, actually. That card puts in some work.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's not-
it has that burst line of text is the one that people forget about. You can't target Palace of the Elemental Lords or destroy it with card effects.
Yeah, that's really nice as well. Personally, I'm just a big fan of being able to rifle through and search out, good new elements.
Yeah, and you can use it on things like Alistair the Invoker, and it dodges things like those lances that we saw earlier. You try to lance me? How about I just tribute it? You lose your target, nerd.
Yeah, I mean, it toolboxes the deck really well. You can bounce between things like Malayu and Lap. You can get easy plus advantages off of Alistair. It's a cool card. It's tough to fit into the deck unless you're running, a 30 card
cards.
build like this. But I really like the card.
You know when this card would be really nice? Do we have anything that can search a field spell on normal summon? That would be cool. Ooh, find his chain on that Malayu, and this is where Elemental Training starts to lose a little bit of its value here, because once per turn you can only use it. That's not normal summon though, Andy. So what I'm saying is, you summon the thing, it searches a field spell, and then you whack it with the Elemental Training and put it on Element Saber. Whereas Planet Pathfinder, you have to tribute it, and unless you have like a Venue, you're not getting that back. Hey, get your Corona out of here. Nobody told you you could cough.
Every time.
Alright, we see a chain onto Malayu.
And no battle phase. So Elemental Training finally going to remove that chain from his Malayu. And here comes a lap of his own. And Soul Cardinal kind of thinning that deck out nicely here. But it's going to be even harder for his Element Sabers as he rifles through that deck, like you said. It's going to be harder for them to find targets. I mean, there's 3 Malayus already in that graveyard.
Yeah, he's maybe thinning a little too much or too quick. Like you said, he's burned 3 Malayus now, so that means that monster's gone.
Yeah, it's unlikely he's running a 4th.
I would say lowly likely, yeah, that's pretty true. He seems like an honest guy.
Soul Cardinal? No, he's a thug.
Yeah, that man owes me $50,000.
Yeah, me too. Same amount, oddly enough. Pay up, buddy.
Wow.
Calling you out. ASAP saying Levianeer incoming, or Levia Dragon Daedalus, but I'm not really sure which. Turbo Man says, yeah, just use Anus to bring it back. Shoot, I forgot that. That thing's like a little monster reborn.
I don't know if I know what card you're talking about.
It's
Or
the
he's
Earth
talking
one.
about. Oh. Yeah, I don't know that card by name, because it's not good. But honestly, in 30 cards, he might run it. Like, that's not out of the question.
Once again here, Soul Cardinal showing off the invocation that he has in his hand
Yep, just a dead card.
to appoint his opponent's hand.
Now that being said, what this also does is it triggers D-draw for him this next turn.
My monster's effect activates.
Did I just call the Lolly Saber a lewd word? No? Was that, what are you, a cop? Get out of here.
One downside of a pointer in this instance is that it does show off that he does not have any ammo for lap.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a guy can basically just activate his cards willy-nilly. Excuse my language.
My turn.
Sorry, Willipino, if you're in chat.
And I mean, how does he really get through this either?
Still believe in my cards.
We could very well be seeing another Fiendish Chain from Akai face down.
My monster's effect
Malehu gonna use this effect. Perhaps just checking for delays, but there's always gonna be one as long as this Malehu and Lap is on the board.
from my hand.
PDS with a
Yeah.
25-month sub. He says, way one god.
Now's my chance.
He's just gonna invocate straight from the hand.
Activates.
And now he basically has to play the... Well, I really hope it's not another Fiendish Chain face down game.
Yeah, although this does give him the ability to test out yet another delay. Oh,
Just went for the second invocation because he
He
has
just
that
went-
Alistair that he trained.
that's true. Okay, never mind. You know what? Well done.
Smart
Not
boy.
bad, guy. Still playing that same game, but, you know, also playing the game of, like, I hope that there's not an element saber in my opponent's hand. Oh, or
He
just
went,
going for Casitas.
Yeah, I think that was probably the right play, and he got to use his opponent's Nalu there, which does reduce the stats of his opponent's card. And you know what? Soul Cardinal even ends up with that Alistair in the hand anyway. So he did goodly.
Very goodly.
Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack with a monster.
Edu says current OTK on a defense position monster.
My monster.
Told you that
Ooh,
shit
this
was-
is... I don't know how I feel about that.
He does clear the lap. At least his back row is live now.
I mean, clears the lap, but at what cost?
One Alistair.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Wormagon says Necro Fusion set.
Like, he's got Casitas now, but he basically has one back row card, and that's it. And he's staring down, you know, Malehu, one live back row, 4 cards in hand.
Yeah, and the lap, no fuel on it. How many sabers has Akai burned through? Not nearly as many, but he should have one more Malehu chilling in the deck or hand. If my math is correct. I have seen people run 2, but I think with a 21 card build, he's probably found room for all 3. And but we want to take a look at Element Saber's burnt. Let's take a look at Soul Cardinal's grave one time. Malehu, Nalu, Malehu, Lap, and an Alistair. So he's got a Malo Naze kicking around somewhere, I guess. And perhaps the little Element Saber Anus.
I set a card.
Yeah. I mean, small chance he runs another lap as well, but
I draw.
probably not. Either way, this is just not looking like a super great situation for the top player.
I end. I will not
Casitas doing some work right now, at least keeping Akai on the back foot.
believe in my cards. I draw.
He's got his Element Saber Summon Skull on the board, but you really can't push through that that thick cock from Soul Cardinal.
Yeah.
Draw.
Now, I am surprised that we have not seen an Alistair yet from
I end.
Akai.
Yeah, I mean, he only has 6 cards in hand. Where could it be?
I know.
I draw.
And no other back row either. He's not clogging that back row up.
Yeah, he's... I mean, I guess he's not clogging the back row because he needs to see Alistair and needs to be able to play an invocation, but, like, dang. He's got to have Alistair. He's got 7 cards. The man's got 7 more cards in his hand than his deck. You're gonna tell me he
math
doesn't
checks
have
out.
Alistair?
So you're saying it's
Oh my!
it's a 50-50.
I will not lose.
Wow.
Drops another place.
I still
Does he not have Alistair, or is he playing around like a Fiendish Chain or something? Like, I don't...
I mean, I suppose that's entirely possible. Maybe he's looking for, you know, that guaranteed invocation where he fuses right from the hand and goes from there.
I feel like he's got to just not have it, though. Like, he's got Live Malehu on board, so he can dodge stuff like Chain or, you know... Current, okay.
And that's in the damage step, I would assume. Current
I would
plus
hope.
Alistair. Is
Alistair.
it game?
Oh my... Oh my
40
gosh.
to 100. You waited too long, and Soul Cardinal
Dang.
takes it, putting Forbidden Ones back in the lead at 6-5.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Forbidden Ones has not lost their counter pick advantage yet, have they?
No, no, sir.
Or since they got it back,
They
at least.
managed
Yep.
to keep it.
Akai or Sakura or anyone from BZ, if he would be willing to share, I would be curious. Did he not draw any of his Alistairs out of that many cards, or was he waiting for another play? You don't have to reveal too much, but like, dang, that's just really unfortunate if that's what happened.
Speaking of revealing too much, Zayd King in the chat says, BLS on ladder always destroys me. Get
He's
good
18.
scrub.
Yeah,
What?
that's because you're bad. Ha, got him.
Have you heard of our
Zayd
Lord and
King.
Savior Chaos Hunter?
Zayd King, probably one of the best players in the world, casually,
Nah. Never heard of
but
him.
not better than BLS.
Not better than Black Luster Soldier. Big Yugi animation, too powerful for Zayd King.
Wait, is there a
Oh yeah,
an
yeah. You
animation?
summon the,
Oh my-
the
I have
ritual
never
one.
seen that.
Oh, it's nice. It's actually nice. It's one of the best early ones.
Dang.
Sakura says he didn't draw a single
Oh
Alistair
my-
with 6
that's so
cards left in the
unfortunate.
deck. Yeah, that's a yikes, man. That's
As
playing
a-
against the odds.
As a Saber player, I can empathize with that so hard. Those are like the make you want to punch a hole in the wall moments when you're like, alright, this is just stupid. Like, my opponent is playing twice as many cards as me, almost. And I can't find a single, like, copy, and I've been through my whole deck of, like, the key card I need.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
to
that's-
see that for you guys, Sakura. That's
Those
tough.
punch a hole in the wall moments, you know, that's one of the benefits of Duel Links as opposed to the TCG, where in the TCG it's more of a you want to punch your opponent
True.
moment, and it's a lot healthier to go for the wall. You know, there's
Yeah.
less jail time.
Duel Links, keeping people safe.
Zayd says reminds me of 3 banishment bottom deck. Yikes.
Ooh, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's the best when you're like milling the deck too to get to them, and you keep shuffling it, but somehow it keeps shuffling to the bottom.
Oh my god, March! Hello! Welcome!
Yo.
Hi, friend.
Blue Neo's coming in wearing his Blue Notes jeans. He will be on the blue side of the table, and he's taking on Soul Cardinal. And he's trying to make Soul Cardinal sure that he blew a mid-game lead. You know, am I right? Hey, he's even got a blue bat. Look at that. Check it out.
Duel. I said I end my turn.
Alright,
And 2 set.
just a
Alright.
very quick casual set 2 pass.
I set this card face down. Here I go.
Hey, Blue Neos, you forgot a little something there in the rest of your play.
Do we assume this is presumably a bricked Dark Magician?
I would say it's reasonable to assume, although with Ishizu, No Mortal Can Resist likely live here, and we do see him slap down his rod with dominance.
There it is. All right, now at this point, okay, so he does go circle. Circle, probably hoping to add a Dark Magician, I guess. Assuming that he has
Gotta thin that deck out first. Grab a couple Dark Magicians.
Okay. He might have a play here. Like, you very well could have live nav. If it's not live nav, it's most likely like a Clash, which is pretty good as well.
And maybe he really needed to top deck that Rod. And Rod managed to complete the entire combination of cards that he needed.
It's looking like that's what happened.
And Dark Magical Circle looks as though it did not whiff on the top of that deck. And he adds a circle.
Okay, better than nothing. Probably not going to come up in in this matchup since Saber doesn't run a lot of anti-back row, but
True. I
that's
mean, it's
fine.
always nice to be able to stack a deck mid-game, you know, mid-late game. It's always kind of nice.
Yeah, well, he loses the stack off the summon here, but either way, I mean, just thinning out for another circle is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, my mom taught me growing up that plussin is better than not plussin when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So.
True. Yep.
You know,
As Mama Hines always says.
You know the lessons your mom taught you when you're growing up.
Always be plussin.
Yeah.
Quotation marks dash Mama Hines.
My trap activates.
Mama Ketchum. I mean, she doesn't have the same first name as me.
Your mom doesn't have the same first name as you?
No,
What?
she's Heinz.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Rod can tribute face down magicians, right?
It can tribute face down magicians.
Thanks.
Yeah,
we-
it can though.
We do know that Soul Cardinal is playing Mirror Wall in the deck. He's got a couple
Very well
cards.
could be the case, yeah. Or
Speaking
very
of
well
which,
could be a face down. Yep, there it is.
I was gonna say, he's got a couple cards that can trigger that Destiny Draw on his own, which is definitely something I like to see when people use Destiny Draw.
Yeah, and that's gonna be pretty threatening, really. There is a new set from BZ here, so that could possibly be a second nav, since he does have multiple Dark Magicians that were searched
You
off of the
said he
Elite
said
Magic.
double dead nav turn 1.
Oh my gosh, okay. I mean, that works too.
That's that powerful Dark Magician art coming through now. And he will be able to clear that Magician of Dark Illusion by getting his Rod back as well. It's always something you like to do. And he
Oh, now
slams
this is
down
interesting.
all of
Does
his
it draw
demons.
phase as well to prevent the 2K? Oh, no. Never mind. Thought he was going to prevent the 2K payment. No hex. Stand corrected. Yeah, Zayd in chat saying interesting navigation. I agree with that. I'm not entirely sure that that was the right timing. I don't know that I really understand the benefit of banishing that Dark there, but... or that Kaliga there, but we'll see.
All right. I summon a monster in attack position.
Another Malayu coming through to replace the Malayu once lost.
Yep. Also just realized that I called Malayu Kaliga, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, I speak monkey, so.
The Dark Boy.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, you took it there, not me. Alright.
No,
His element's
was,
dark.
Okay.
He's a dark
Yeah,
attribute.
that's enough from you. You can't be
All
just
right,
spouting all
whoa.
this racist nonsense. Coming through here in this PG stream, you never heard me say anything even close to the line of inappropriate
That's
on the
true.
air.
Heinz, well known as a caster that absolutely refuses to toe the line.
Exactly. Oh, cross lines. We only snort them here. Wait, what? No.
What the?
But don't do that, kids. Especially social distancing. You don't know what's in that stuff. Don't. Oh, Magician Navigation. He's going to negate the mirror
Navigates
wall.
the mirror wall, yep.
It's a face up. It's a face up trap. That's unaffected.
It
It
works.
doesn't do nothing. It's negated. It doesn't have an effect. His plays are next level. Malayu is live though. Yeah, I mean, look how many Dark Magicians he's got kicking around. Imagine if he hadn't expanded. Oh, he's got a Clash. Even better.
Ooh, that's it. That's game.
Quick play spell.
Nice.
Bop. And Blue Neos takes it and ties up the game once again.
Yep.
It's 6-6. That's also Monkey Boy's height. A lot of people don't know that.
It's not my height. I wish it was my height, but it's not my height. I'm like 5'10". I'm very medium.
Extra medium.
I am, man. 5'10" is like that exact in between height. Like I don't think anybody would look at me and be like, man, that guy's tall. But like, I'm also not quite short enough to be like
Yeah, you don't
noted
get,
as
like
short.
short guy.
Yeah, just incredibly medium.
Hi, I'm Monkey Boy and I'm average.
That's me.
All right, Sosa.
So.
Yeah, I'm exactly 6 feet, so I'm like right on that line where it's like you can kind of be called tall, but you're not really. Like there are people
you're
that are
like
like
insanely
properly
tall, yeah.
tall, but then there's like you can't really say like it's just like that kind of bare minimum for like, oh, you're tall, but you're not really tall. You're just
You're like taller than most any girl, but like also people don't walk down the hall and go like, whoa, dang, that's a tall guy.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Cyber Dragon core, kind of neat. But also, you're gonna be taller than nearly any girl as well, right? So I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty much. Yeah, I don't have much for
women
like height
so
issues
stupid,
there.
can't reach the top of shelves. So dumb.
I draw.
All right,
They think
Cyber
they can
Dragon.
vote, am I right? Did you hear what Monkey Boy just said? Oh my god.
Oh my. Yeah, I was out of line there. Again, disrespecting Heinz and his always politically
I'm
correct
always,
commentary.
I never say anything inappropriate. I was kidding, by the way, in case anybody was actually thinking that
Watch and learn.
it was serious.
Monsters effect activate.
All right, so
All right, so-
Rod. Now keep in mind you can only
Opens core,
use one effect.
Search is trap. Open CC. Yep, like you said, can only use one circle there. This man is hacked.
Language, man.
From my hand.
Dan says not politically incorrect if he's right. That's politically correct then. The math checks out.
I set a card face down on the. I set a card face down on the.
Can he
only
banish
only
two?
2 sets with the back row there. That's interesting. With a hand of 3 and Dark Magician.
I'm cutting you off.
Cybernetic Overflow banishes his core.
Just one.
hits
Oh,
Eye
hits the
Titty.
Timaeus. No.
Yeah, that's a card you don't see too often these days, man.
I know,
Eye
not as
of
much
Timmy.
anymore. Serving its true functionality purpose, which is to be a bait, so your important cards don't get hit. That's a little tough though. Missed the 50-50.
Yeah, it's definitely scary, and this is a matchup that is so heavily favored for Cyber Dragons, and
Yeah. So here's a question: would you have also set the circle?
what do you mean, set all 3?
Yeah, just to play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it makes it not a 50-50. It definitely increases the odds. Puts you in that Hunger Games status where you're trying to put the odds forever in your favor. But he has a second overflow anyway.
Okay.
So speaking of odds,
I activate a face down card. My trap.
so this is what I was about to ask you was, when we thought that he only had 1 overflow, would you have said maybe just wait till your own turn so you can use that cyber style? It doesn't target, so.
Yeah, it's a good question. Wait. What?
I guess
No.
because Proto is only a Cyber Dragon on the field, he's going Twin so he can clear these monsters. Nope, he's going Rampage.
Wait.
Well, I'm confused. And it's Chain Link too, so he doesn't get to blow anything up.
What?
Not that there's anything to blow up, but that... Maybe he thought
Does
that
he
he was
have current?
maybe he thought that.
What?
I was gonna say maybe he thought the core was a Cyber Dragon while it was banished, but
Bruh.
and now he milled the Proto as well. So even if he has that third overflow, Proto again not Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, only on the field.
I'm so confused.
And speaking of overflow, Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer going to make sure that an overflow wouldn't work. And we got Magician Navigation, which, by the way, would also make sure overflow doesn't work. So, unless he's got a concentrated current just sitting in his back row to spring on his opponent.
Flash, maybe? I don't... Man, I don't know. I think that was just a good old-fashioned goof. Let's call it what it was.
Old Hot Sauce over here cooking my friend Monkey Boy's noodle. And that's going to be... That's going to be one for Blue Neos. Put that one in the record books as he goes up to 7-6.
Yep. Now they might use their other reset or repeat here. Getting down to the wire, you really like. This could be your last chance to use it. You know,
yeah, and this is their counter pick. They brought this in. They used their counter pick advantage in a situation like this.
Yep. Tough. I don't. Is the other thing though is like, is Cyber Dragon really the deck you want to use your repeat on? Again, they're like running out of chances to use the repeat, but like, also, do you want to put that much weight on Cyber Dragon?
Nightbot in the chat correctly saying the caster for today's match is Gothic Demon. Go follow him. Bam!
Yep, go follow him.
So go follow me, Gothic Demon. Check me out on twitch.tv/GothicDemon98 as Blue Neos takes on Hot Sauce once again.
And
now, you know, I have to root for my friend Sasa here. I mean, and it looks like that is going to be the repeat. Thank you, Bresaline, once again.
Zade King makes a good point as well, actually. Says, imagine if he didn't CC Circle, but instead CC'd one of the sets and then overflow the other set, and then just fuse and win.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed more premature than my prom night, the way he played that, basically every card that he had.
Probably actually a good good comparison there. Nice nice job. Now, goes first again with a bunch of back row. Let's see if he learns from his mistakes.
Veer's cute. He's purple. Hey, there's a Cosmic Cyclone in the end phase.
Oh, somebody was reading Zade King in chat.
He's like, alright, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing. This Zaid King fella. And here comes the
Zaid guy.
And there goes 2 navigations nice and early.
Zade King couching.
Hot Sauce took his notepad out, wrote down what Zade King said. He's like, alright, so if I open like this, this is what I'll do. And he followed it down to a T, although maybe he doesn't have
I mean, he
has
isn't.
follow-up.
Well, I guess he can proto, so it comes down to if he has the spell.
Imagine if he
He
just
might not,
drew
but-
Overload Fusion and then set it by accident. Like he went to activate it before hitting the skill and he set it.
Well, he would have had to use the skill too, though, for a proto.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you would have just, like,
Oh, true.
thinking ahead, just slaps it down on the board. Now he can't even... I would love that.
Another rod. Now, another rod does prevent Nav from being live. That is the third Nav.
But it is threatening lethal at the same time.
It is threatening lethal, so there's that.
Like, I'm wondering, what would you have
Does
in your back
anything
row
save him? I don't know that it does.
that you would not use Proto Cyber Dragon there? Has he got a drowning? Like,
There's no way.
he's got an econ! Hey,
What?
you know, I haven't seen that.
Hello? He really needs a core or a fusion, man. Like, real bad.
I mean, he does have a pair of Prados kicking around if he needs them. I'm really genuinely curious as to what he has, you know, face down and
Face down in his hand. Yeah, this is a tense moment. Oh my god, no. I think that's it.
Now here comes the cyber style. Please don't swing!
He swung.
Now,
And Nav.
my face down.
Oh, what?
I don't know about any of these plays, man.
Very well. I special summon a monster.
I mean, I guess he could have just
Now,
hard tributed into Dark Magician next turn as well.
He hit a Cosmic Cyclone. The Cosmic... I mean...
The
if you're
Cosmic
gonna
was
swing,
too little too late.
you
He's too
could-
low on life points. I think this is over.
And he's got that
Oh, this
Timmy
is
set
mega over.
once again. There's no way out of this. I mean, he can go Amulet Dragon too. If he wanted to play around a potential overflow, Amulet Dragon floats into another Dark Magician. So,
True.
oh, Void
Void.
Trap Hole. He actually, well, it doesn't matter because of navigation, but still.
I mean, he lost either way, though. DM over a Proto is exact lethal.
Yeah.
Dang.
I was aware of every twist.
That misplay could be the thing that decides the war now, because it swings counterpick advantage back. They're down a whole player now. They burned a repeat. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point as well. Like, I don't mean to say that Forbidden Ones is out by any means, but they definitely just took a huge hit there. Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, I mean, game one he had pretty much guaranteed. Well, because I think I don't remember. Does anyone know game one? Did he top deck into the fusion spell, or did he have it in hand? Because that would decide if it was guaranteed lethal for sure or not. No, he had CC and double overflow set because they were both live. I think though, I do think he had it in hand. I could be wrong. If anybody happens to know offhand for sure, I think he might have just not set it though because he wanted to set both overflow. But I feel like he had it. But I could be wrong.
There is a single glimmer of light.
I think so.
Fight to overcome
Question
the
mark?
darkness.
Step right up to get smacked down.
Duel.
It's my turn.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Stream, can you guys hear?
No,
can you
they
hear
can't, but they
Heinz?
can now. So I've been talking this whole time. They haven't been able to hear me. My mic got a static shock through it, and
Oh,
turned
no.
my mic off. So I had to reset it, but it didn't reconnect to OBS for some reason. It's all good. Be back now.
Can you guys in chat hear Heinz now, just so we can make sure?
My turn.
Yeah, we lost 14 viewers, so they definitely can hear me.
Oh, that does add up. As you said that, I saw the viewer count drop by like 4 more.
Face down.
How predictable. My
I need to see in Thunder Dragons? Just toss in one Lumina. One Lumina. If you're playing Plague Spreader, slap in a Lumina. You got yourself Aquarian Gandrax, baby. That's a nice little stew right there. 4 + 2 + 3. Just
Illumina.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, because you know you get the little light sworn you bring back, or raiding them panties, and then you know slide on into one of those Lumina's handle light sworns, and you know get the little stuff going. You know what I'm saying?
All right, fair. I guess.
Know what I mean? Assault Black Wing, Onimaru the Divine Thunder. And he's synchroing again, just for good measure. He's gonna bounce back any card he's got left on the board, but he's got none because he's a nerd, doesn't have any cards on the board. That's what I'm talking about, man. Way 1 claps. Hot Sauce was just, you know, the energy sacrificed to charge up Way 1 Spirit Bomb, and here he goes with a full board of Duo, Onimaru, and Bryanak.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty decisive win right there. So, that's cool. Needs to do that a few more times.
And tightening up the score once again to 8-7. This score is tighter. This war is tighter than a post-Christmas waistband.
That was a much more wholesome joke than I would typically have expected you to go for when talking about tightness. I was kind of bracing myself. I was like, "Oh God, where's this going? What kind of joke is he making?" And it was just a fat guy joke. Oh no!
Better?
I am not going to share this with the audience, but Heinz may have DM'd me a much more signature joke for
thank
his brand.
Thunder Dragon Dark activating the end phase.
Okay, so the end phase thin. Cold Sark, really good card to open in this deck.
Wait, I just got this. Did you just say closer to the brand because I'm Heinz and it's a saucy joke? Was that what you were getting at?
It wasn't, but you know, it's a good connection you made. Not bad.
You know the best connection I ever made?
The one we have.
Yes, connecting with you.
Oh my gosh. Big wow.
Gosh. I like this. It's like, you know, I know this is a stream and everything, but I still feel like it's just you and me.
It is. It is. Forget about the chat, all right? Like we mentioned earlier, they're stupid, you know?
Yeah.
We call it like it is.
Anything.
Nah, everybody in chat, appreciate you guys for being here. Stream counted 118 people. This is a really good war. It's been back and forth.
Stream quality doesn't look bad on my
It
screen.
looks fine for me as well. I would maybe refresh, Andy. But anybody else in chat, you guys can kind of back that up or not.
Very nice econ. This is not looking good for Blue Neos. He actually looked like he probably opened a mitt full of tuners and crystal beasts.
Yeah,
And
he did not open much of anything.
Basically just sitting on an econ to be defensive with.
Yeah, I would say this is probably going to be an L.
I mean, like, even if he had, you know, any other cards in his hand, like, even if it was just all tuners, he would still, I would think, make a play with Transcendent Crystals just so he wouldn't top the Transcendent, like, top the Crystal Beast. Wow, words are difficult. Save me. Anyway, so he wouldn't top the Crystal Beasts, but I don't know. It's really
he might have, but he might have not wanted to risk the, like, something getting popped. You don't really know what you're going into, you know, you don't want to get, like, all of your follow-up popped. I don't know.
He ripped the Sulfafnir off the top of the deck, and there's the Transcendent Crystal, so he's going to get definitely more value off of it than I was suggesting, so he didn't actually top it. And he's got that impact. He's got that to discard, so he's going to be safe from targeting effects later on. And now that Solfefnir is popping and he's not staring down No Mortal Can Resist, this is looking a little bit better for Kristrons here than it originally appeared.
Yeah, Kristrons are doing the Crystron stuff now. They're back in this.
I'm going to take a short break for nature while I let you commentate this, because I know you're such a big fan of Kristrons, so I'm going to let you handle this one.
Love them. Cool, no worries. But yeah, Crystron's currently just staring down a 100 attack glow-up bulb. Okay, Econ going to be a really good way to survive here. Also going to stop the Thistfern pop, which is good. We see a set card come in. I had missed if that was, it wasn't the top deck because he topped the Sulf. So curious what back row he has that he would not have wanted to set previously. Could be maybe like another Econ. Could be Impact that was not previously live and still isn't, but at this point he just wants to set to bluff.
My monster's effect activates.
But either way, we are likely going to see Thunder Dragon pop off. We knew at minimum he had that Dragon Hawk from it returning to the hand during his end phase last turn. And Dragon Hawk pretty much lets him go into any of his other like play starters. He had Dark and Roar in a mix of the Banished Pile and Graveyard. Glow Up Bulb also in the grave, which has not used its effect yet, I don't believe. So that should be able to do a synchro play as well. Charge obviously being a huge card here, tons of options.
Okay, I literally came back and the board looks exactly the same. No, wait, it changed slightly. There used to be a bulb, and now there's not a bulb.
Yep, so Econ Tribute took with the bulb after Thistfern came out, so that prevented Thistfern from popping. Crystron set their back row card, which I don't think was the new card, so it's probably not really a threat. And then he's, the Keith player, Wayon, ripped into a charge, so he's got Raiden in hand. He milled a few cards. Bulb is doing bulb stuff. This is probably a GG. Oh, it was a second
I would
Econ.
suspect that this last set is a second Econ, because it's the only other card that I would say you wouldn't set on turn 1, and we know that Solfefnir was the top deck. So the reason you wouldn't set both Econs is because you definitely don't want to have them both dropped by like a Black Rose play. If one Econ's not doing it, you're probably going to lose the other one anyway. So you might as well keep it in the hand for later. And it's I don't think I've ever seen 3 Econs being used so defensively in one match before.
It's a really good point, actually. But yeah, I was talking through some potential back row possibilities while you were gone, and Econ was definitely one I brought up for that same reason, or at least just because, you know, why set 2 versus a deck that can potentially pop so many things. The other one would just be like if it was an Impact that he for some reason didn't want to risk for that same reason since it wasn't live yet. But yeah, we do see it's an Econ.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yep. What do you got?
Say way one here. Say he goes and slams his way into a Psy-Frame Lord Zeta or a Samurai Destroyer or something. He's gonna go Zeta. Now, if he runs over that Dragon Dark, is he gonna get baggy sleeves on his own turn?
I think he has to control it. So I think no.
All right.
Almost positive it's a no.
I think it's a no as well, because I'm pretty sure I've tested that with Lava Golem and it didn't go off, but I wanted to just see what a player from the Tier 0 team would think.
It's a fair question, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a no.
One of the craziest things about Thunder Dragons in this matchup is that it's one of the only decks that even with, you know, a board like this where they put a lot of resources into getting them out, you could query in that board and literally both of them could be back on the board within a couple turns.
Yeah. Yep.
Even though they would be banished.
Discarding, what was that, Smiger?
Yeah, Smiger, so he will be getting to regain some card advantage here, which is very nice for
yeah, the
Blue Neos.
The recovery here is crazy.
But one thing that's, you know, perhaps, you know, the saving grace for Way 1 here is that because of the effect of Zeta, he is forced to summon everything in defense position if he's special summoning.
True. Good point, actually.
I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Well, I guess he does have Impact Live in the grave, so.
Now, it looks like he is going to go for a...
Well, there's that Quarian that we were talking about earlier on. That's level 9. 2 plus 3 is 5 out of 4, and that's a 9. Quick maths with Heinz.
Show 'em what you can do.
I made that rhyme. You like that?
Monster's effect activates.
And won't be triggering baggy sleeves, which is a nice way to clear the board here. It does have Praziordal in hand. He, if he has any Cristrons left in the hand, he does threaten lethal here. Of course, Zeta going to try to go off, but Impact going to go and make this a 3-chain link chain.
Ooh, there's some interesting talk in chat where lethal may have been missed from the potential use of Black Rose's very uncommon second effect. Where between, if he would have summoned out Black Rose into attack, not blown up the field, also summon Duo, and then use Black Rose to banish the glow-up bulb engrave, where he could switch the
Dark
whatever Crystron that was into attack, or the Dark into attack, yeah.
I summon a monster in attack position. I synchro summon a monster.
Yeah, I mean that's an easy thing to overlook. I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that they always have a plant in the grave when they're playing the bulb.
Yeah,
a
or
lot
just,
of
I mean,
tuners
it's
with
easy to
that,
forget about that Black Rose effect, but yeah.
A lot of tuners with that effect have the caveat of being banished when they leave the field, and Glow Bulb is just a hard once per duel and doesn't get banished. So you might have just forgot that it was even in the graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the most straightforward play, but yeah, it's a good point out from chat.
And you know, that's a nice look from Jimmy. He definitely is an experienced Thunder Dragon player, so he's very aware of things like that. And if you're coming into a war, I think you have to be aware of things like that as well.
My turn's over.
And he gets his opponent's duo effect, which is actually kind of nuts in Cristrons.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Show 'em what you can do.
That is properly nasty, and he opts to just summon the Thistvern rather than going off with, you know, Sulfefnir plays. And I also want to take one more look here at the extra deck of Blue Neos. He still has 5 cards in that extra deck, using Cristrons,
Special summon a monster. Battle. Go.
and what I can only imagine is the impact set, because he searched it with Smyger last turn. So Sphere Kuribo going to come out here. That is very big for Way 1.
Ooh.
But Duo gets a boost!
Now the Rion can summon out a level 3, the Smyger, which is banished, so he can go into Powered and Zektron here, which saves him.
My monster's effect activates.
Now Vermilion can be banishing some Raidens. And I think that forces, he doesn't force the Ryan. He's actually just going to pop that Duo. He says, "Give me that back." Imagine he would have said it through clenched teeth just like that.
That's exactly how I sound when I duel.
Because you're squeezing in a turd at the same time.
Yes. Fun fact, if I'm dueling, I'm pooping.
Mom, give me the toilet paper!
I don't care if it's an MCS, I'm on that toilet bowl all day. 9 hours. Sign me up.
It's certainly hard when you try to walk away from that, though.
You ask nice. I'll finish.
Your legs go all numb.
Yeah.
Stand up, hit the floor. No, it's awful.
The face down card is another impact, right?
Yeah, almost definitely. It's
The other
dead
one-
at the moment, but he does have Thistvern all set up in the graveyard, and
Yeah.
he can definitely make it live very quickly.
Turns over.
Yeah.
And he still has access to 2 Amatrix, and he has Orion in the deck as well, Praziordal in the grave, so he can stay alive for a while here. And this is the point in the duel where, for Wei 1, having that skill is actually beginning to be a detriment because he can actually lose to deck out.
Yeah, very possible. Yeah, Crystron could potentially just grind through.
It's such a defensive deck, and he still has such a full extra deck that it could be very interesting. And he is going to opt to use that Paraziordle to special summon the Smiger in defense position. Very interesting. So he's making a solid board here, but I don't think he's going to be making too many plays in the way of synchros on this turn. Is this a Forbidden Lance? No, he's just clearing the way. What's going on here?
I don't think so. My monsters
Hmm.
And he crashed into the duo as well, which wouldn't that have given him a search if he wanted it?
I'll teach you to mess with me.
Yeah.
My turn. I draw.
And here comes Leveneer.
My monsters effect activates.
I'm not gonna lie,
Chill out.
Blue Neo's got me heckin' confused here.
Face down card. Mat trap activates.
Yeah, kind of agree.
I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster.
And Tribute summons the Thunder Dragon Roar.
I've got this in the bag.
Thunder Dragon, the Roar Monarch comes out, and Duo goes in for lethal from Wei 1.
All right.
And that's ties it up for us.
I mean, that duel was kind of a misplay for a misplay, right?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what happened there, like what the line of thought was.
Yeah, I think both players at some point in that duel made a unfortunate play, which again happens. Not every player plays. I mean, no player plays 100% perfect 100% of the time. But
Just
yeah.
us.
So 8-8, counterpick advantage goes to BZ right now. We'll see if that ends up mattering or not based on their last decks. But
Yeah, I mean, with counterpick advantage, it does kind of start to run out when you get to this point of 8-8. You kind of just have to think, it comes down to what decks you have left if you use your counterpicks wisely in the past, and BZ still does have one repeat if they need it, but it gets to that point where it is risky to use a repeat because we don't know what Wei 1's second deck is.
yeah, not at all. Yeah, repeats at like an 8-8 type position are always interesting because there's always like it comes down to like which deck do we think can sweep. Like obviously one deck is probably better suited for the duel than the other in most situations, but then it also comes down to like, all right, do we want to repeat, or like, if we repeat, is that deck probably screwed versus most other matchups? So we'll see. Curious what they have left though.
Now, what deck would you say would be one in the meta right now that has, a really good counter pick against, say something like Thunder Dragons, but then, has a poor matchup against other decks in the meta?
I mean, honestly, I think that deck would be Sabers, in my opinion. Like, Sabers is going to be good versus Thunder Dragon, going to be good versus, like, Transcendent Crystal, Crystron's, but probably has some weak matchups versus a lot of other things, and that becomes
I would
really
say
risky.
they're probably at their worst point in the meta. But have we actually seen any Shiranui so far in this war?
No.
Which
No,
is,
not from either player.
It's very funny that we haven't seen any because and it hasn't been that popular overall in Team Wars this weekend. And it's interesting because in the best of 3 formats all week long in this meta, the very same meta, Shiranui has been the most represented and the deck with the highest representation in top cuts as well. So is it just the side deck that makes it so strong?
I think it's a few things. I think side deck helps. I think the other is that it is a generally cheaper / more accessible, and also
Oh no, not table 1,
more...
not table 1, not table 1!
Not table 1, no! Why? We'll see how this goes, but all right. But no, it's a generally cheaper, more accessible deck, and it's also a little bit more low skill of a deck. Like, let's acknowledge what that is. And so, in like, you know, large tournaments filled with players that may or may not be, you know, as top tier as others. That just is the reality of large tournaments. You're going to see more players just enter with the most accessible, easy to play deck.
Bro, we're going straight into Sun Saga.
Okay, so we do see a Shira deck.
Yeah, he says, you know what? You want to start blowing up boards? Blow this thing up.
Also, we see a real duel on table 1.
Yeah.
Out of 6 attempts, we finally got one to work on table 1.
Hey, you know, shout out to Toby. He's got that magic touch.
Yeah. Also, hi Egad. Says hi to Monkey Boy and the other guy.
What's up?
Savage, lightly savage.
So, in before turn 1, Bryanak.
Could be. We'll see. Thunder Dragons have a lot of options here. Minimal back row as well, so not too much to be afraid of. Shira is no... Oh, that's not what you want to see at all. Oh, no.
You know, the consistent T set from Thunder Dragons.
Oh, no. And we know that this Thunder Dragon build runs Econ and not Clash as well, so there's not going to be any, like, cheeky Clash dodge happening. That's not good.
And Archfiend Zombie Skull, definitely going to be putting in work here for Toby as well. Being unable to be destroyed by card effects for any zombie-type monster on the field.
Man, that
on
was...
this side of the field.
That was a really good opportunity for... Oh, we'll see the backer here. I'm
Wait,
gonna guess
synchro
Econ.
first. If that was an Econ, you synchro first, and then let's the Econ go off. I guess it doesn't matter because it's always going to be taking out Sun Saga. But yeah, that's the issue there. Is now he gets his Zombie Skull moved to defense position and loses a little bit of offense this turn. Psych, you thought he's got another Solitaire in the hand, and here comes the Spectral's word.
Most likely lethal right there.
Okay, Dan. Somebody get the FBI
Gotta
on
wonder
that guy.
if he should have Econ taken. Dan.
Oh, wait. That's... Oh, yeah, Solitaire brings back a monster. That's right.
Ooh, second level 10 coming?
Yeah, and you can just pop. That's definitely lethal there. PDS says, don't sleep
Dang.
on Winged Karibo.
What a bonkers hand, man.
And it was a Raikou, so even
Oh,
if...
no.
Yikers. But we do know that Wei 1 was rocking those Sphere Karibos, but has none of them. Toby takes it. So,
That's
9
unfortunate, too.
score.
Because that was... I mean, that opening from Shira was... It wasn't bad by any means. I mean, getting level 10 turn 1 is obviously good, but only one back row means that, like, you can probably play through that if you open a decently normal, or especially if you open a good Thunder hand. Especially since, like, Shira is known for playing Ballista right now, so, like, that would be a really bad card to have to use in that situation. You don't want to tribute off your level 10. You can, you know, probably grind through a Fiendish Chain pretty easy. Like, a single back row wasn't going to do a lot if only Wei 1 would have opened a good hand. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he thought that he wasn't going to see a push that hard coming out from Toby, so he played a little bit more passive. You know, he had the Econ, he had the Raikou. Maybe he thought, like, I can, you know, at least survive. But unfortunately, that just wasn't happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I would imagine if he had a play, he would have made it. Like I said, he wasn't really staring down much for threatening back row. But yeah, either way, that push just ended up being huge from BZ, from Toby.
And the match ends how it started, with now Wei 1 being in control of the SSA Crystrons.
All right, interesting. I mean, it's a good deck to have as your fallback.
Yeah, it does suffer a little bit. SSA not as strong against the potential Sun Sagas and Archfiend Zombie Skulls as perhaps other decks. But we
Yeah,
do know
it's-
that water beats fire.
True. No, I was gonna say it's definitely not the most ideal matchup. It helps that this is not a
He's got the whale.
no mortal version of or variant of Shira, but SSA still is a good deck to kind of fall back on for your anchor deck.
Yeah, we did see Toby did have that Cosmic Cyclone on turn 2 last game.
He's definitely gonna want to hope that that Cyclone is not a thing this time around.
And Sea Stealth Attack going to flip up in the draw phase.
Yep.
There's really no reason to wait when it comes to Sea Stealth Attack. I mean, you do get to see if there's any delays coming through from your opponent. And also, I mean, Citadel Whale does place it on the board, so there's no mysteries involved with the Sea Stealth. It's not like
Yeah,
when
you
you
know what
add
it
like
is,
an
you know where
impact to
it
your
is.
hand.
Yeah.
Has a Prismatic Squire in the hand, opts not to summon it, the ultimate BM.
I synchro summon a monster.
But Citra here is very nice. There's an Undyne in the grave. And we just
Whoa,
scoop
what?
it. Toby takes it just like that. That's how this duel ends.
Was that intentional? What?
I
Was that
mean,
a DC?
Table 1 is cursed, but I mean,
Bruh.
DCs do have new rulings this this season, and that's BZ taking it home. Way 1 with either a disconnect or an instant scoop with the Sun Saga.
That's so unfortunate. Oh my god. I mean, he, like... that was going to start to be a struggle point, but he by no means lost that duel yet.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, he had the options to put that thing into defense position, and Samurai Destroyer can still run that boy over, you know?
Yeah.
And
Dang, man.
I'm pretty sure he had impact. I mean, there's definitely outs to that. And, you know, Archfiend Zombie Skull, not that big a problem for a Whale without a Cosmic Cyclone, because Whale sits at 2550. So, definitely wasn't, you know, it wasn't gone for Way 1, and, you know, he's a skilled player. He definitely knew that there was outs. So I don't think it was a scoop. I think that it was probably an unfortunate disconnection.
Sham in chat is saying somebody logged into the account. If that's what happened, that is tragic.
Oh, so Sham would know he's
my
on the team, so
Gosh,
so it just kicked him out in the middle of a war.
that is so...
In an anchor position. As, you know, we were saying that he had plays available. He opened very well, and, you know, probably as optimally as you could for the matchup when your opponent doesn't open Cosmic. So, yeah, that's definitely rough, and, you know, that's...
Oh, man.
You know, that is one of the risks for account sharing. And,
Yeah, wow, what a feels bad. Wow. That's such a bummer of an end to this war. But,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, BT takes it.
and you know what? It didn't end before 10-8, which is our, that's our benchmark for a good stream for you and me, Monkey Boy. I get to spend a nice amount of time with you. And good games to both players. Congratulations to our Season 6 runner-ups, BZ. And good luck to the rest of the season for both Forbidden Ones and BZ. We're just getting started here, man. This is just week 1.
Yeah, we got plenty more coming. But yeah, good games to everybody who played. Everybody in chat, thanks so much for hanging out, all 119 of you. Hopefully you guys had a fun war. Yeah, and we'll
And
see
don't
you guys
forget
next
to
week.
follow me, Gothic Demon, on Twitch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all my videos and streams. And bam! And then also, I'll be back at twitch.tv/Heinz_Ketchum tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We got another war coming at you. Nice, bright, and early. And we're not done yet for this weekend. Team Wars is going to be live all day tomorrow as well. So come through for those if you enjoy the competitive action. Thank you, Monkey Boy, for joining me. And big shout out to Mimi and the ref team. Reseline, Mimi were our referees for this match. And everybody else on the ref team as well for all your help. Any final words, Monkey Boy?
Just thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. Appreciate it, and thanks, Heinz.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody, and peace out. Congrats once again to